Greetings and salutations. Today's topic, how to fricassee atheist evotards. Gonna be fun. As usual, if you'd like to support this channel, there are PayPal and Patreon links in the info box below. Get started here in a few minutes. Maybe. Hey, shout out to Betty Van Velsen out there in chat and all the guys that showed up here. James Mays, good to see you, sir. Dave Scott. Yep, thank you for the 5,000K subscribers. I was holding back off on that, announcing that because I was 5,000 subscribers about 4 or 5 times this week. Keeps on going back and forth, so I figured I'm not going to say anything. I'll just wait for a little while, maybe to get up to 5,020 or so. So I appreciate that. Congratulations. Although I didn't do anything, it's not like I subscribe. It's not an accomplishment of mine. That pisses me off. People that take accomplishments that they didn't really do anything. Another one of my pet peeves. Like to expose that. Let me get a radio check out there for you guys in chat. How do I sound here? Is it too overwhelming? No, it's right on point. You know, I'm gonna get loud, right? It's inevitable. I tried to talk myself today about getting the Zen, and I don't know. My contempt is gonna get the best of me with these crayon munchers. So yeah, Mr. Sam gives me a thumbs up. 5 by 5 here, so not too loud. Yeah. Let's give it a couple minutes here. I don't want to delay too long. I don't know how long this is going to go. So, surely, like always, I just don't know. It could go a while. We'll see. So make sure you share. Yeah, thanks, Mr. Sam. Appreciate it. Yeah, audio is good. 5 by 5. Yep. Good. I just don't want to blow your eardrums out. Of course, you have your own local volume. You can deal with me there. Yeah, the audio. Boy, that's a long time ago, boy. Way to go, Betty. The audio guy. Who was that? Was that, that's Sean Huffrod or something like it. Some one of those knuckleheads. I don't know where they get the, I don't know. Well, I really don't care. It's not a query YouTube where they got their names from. Who the hell knows? They're delusional fruitcakes, man. You're going to see that in spades coming up here in a couple minutes. Betty, are you on that such a delay? I told you it was Huffrod about 10 minutes ago. And then you finally said, yep. Are you guys that delayed? Let's see how delayed you are. Let me know when you hear me say 1. Ready? 1. That's just jokes, man. Right? Did you catch the irony with that? Hopefully you did. Now, good one, Divergent. Yeah, good. Okay, let me make sure I got my act together. I was posting on an archery forum just a couple minutes ago. Let's make sure we're good. 1. Thanks, Betty. Appreciate that. So we got water. That's not going to last too long, I don't think. We have a pen so I can mark shit down. We got the mic. It's working. Let's see how many people we got in here, and then we're going to start to roll. Yeah, that's not all that bad. 25 is not all that bad. Give it one more minute or so, and then we'll start. I have to wait for Nathan to come to tell me to begin. Hey, what's up, Arwen? Yeah, go out and you better go get Nathan because I can't begin without him telling me to begin. Hey, that's copyrighted YouTube. Can you guys hear that? Can you hear me? The finger roll? Can you hear that? You know, shut up, Arwen. Hey, what's up, Skeptic936? Just relax, folks. We'll get there. It's coming. Oh, you can hear that. I thought I'd get away with that, but I guess I'm not. Yeah, that's not. You're not Nathan Oakley, Betty. You can always begin to begin before you begin. That's something like we're going to deal with in the next few hours here, and this is going to be the marathon. What's up, Be the Change? Yeah, you got that right. Get your popcorn out. Yeah, this is what I was speaking about. This is going to be somewhat of a marathon. I haven't listened to the whole thing just yet. I've had my attention has been focused. Don't give me the grr either. That's copyrighted too. My focus. Oh, the damn doorbell's ringing. Hold on a second. All right, I'm back. Now, what was I saying? See, I always get. Oh, my attention has been focused elsewhere. So, but it's going to be a marathon. Yeah, it's going to end up that way, I reckon. So this is the first part of the marathon, and we are going to get into it right now. Wonder if there was any preliminary announcement. Oh, yeah, that's right. I did want to say this. Okay, so we got the Thinking Atheist, which is in paradox, contradiction in terms, and we got two numpty evotards, right? So, since no one has been able to define evolution, like I said, whatever the hell that is, every claim they make explicitly or implicitly or explicitly is an argument or an appeal to authority fallacy, because you can't be an expert on a topic that's not defined. So that I don't have to say appeal to authority. I probably will a few times, but then I'll forget. The whole thing is an appeal to authority fallacy. Every time they mention fairy tale evolution. You guys follow that? Hopefully you got that. You have to define the monkey, right? You have to define your monkey if you're going to claim some type of acumen or expertise in it. If not, that's an appeal to authority fallacy. Idiots. All right. That's 5 by 5. Police yourselves out there, you know. No stones and sticks and stuff. You know, we got it covered. I have a couple moderators out there, and I think that function is working. So, all right, I'm delaying for no apparent reason. Let's get it. Oh, that's not the right thing. All right, so it's been a couple weeks, a few seconds since I've done one of these, and I can remember not screwing these up for the longest of times. So I'm going to try my best not to screw up. Now, if you hear a Skype call over the audio, then you know I've screwed up. Okay? Just want to let you know that I didn't put the screen on, you know, those types of things. I went on mute. I'm going to go on. I'm not going to go on mute too much because my throat is clear. No, there shouldn't be any problems unless I choke drinking water or something. Right? So we should be good to go. All right. You guys ready? Let me check and make sure you guys are ready. Yeah. We're good. Everything is looking good. Oh, let me check one more thing, guys. All right. Yeah, that's looking good. This is looking good. That's looking good. Yeah, I have to make sure that's squared away. Okay. Here we go. What is one dream? Special thanks to supporter and sponsor One Dream. Yeah, this is a One Dream, all right. Oh, so we got one of the principals, Forrest Valkai. I guess he knows, and you guys know out there what he's going to be called from now on. I'll give you 3 guesses. He's a biologist and science communicator. Uh-oh, we got another Mick West here. Science communicator. Let me translate this for you. This is headline pseudoscience parroter. That's what that means. Specializing in evolution. What the hell is that? So here's what we're going to need you to do, Gump. On your next live stream, and this also goes for your girlfriend Bubba, on both of your respective next live streams, we're going to need this. And all of them with citation. When I say define something, I don't mean you define it and you make horse shit up. So I'm going to need citation. We're all going to need citation. This is what we're going to need. We want you to define evolution, number 1. Number 2, define scientific theory. Number 3, post the scientific theory of evolution. And number 4, provide one experiment validating step number 3, scientific theory. That's what we're going to need you to do. Okay? It's totally reasonable, and it should be easy for you to do. That's what we're expecting. Because you don't do it here. Like I said, I haven't listened to all of it, but you know, my spidey sense is telling me you numpties ain't going to do it. There's a reason why they don't do it, right? Because if you just start providing evidence for something that you haven't defined, then everything can be evidence for that thing you haven't defined. It's a little second-grade playground trick, right? Yeah, we don't play that shit here, sunshines. So, he is currently a graduate student studying, oh God, biological anthropology, and hosts the channel Renegade Science Teacher. This guy wouldn't know what science was if it climbed up his arse and started kicking footballs wrapped in jalapeno lace concertina wire. He has no clue of what science is. None of these numpties do. But he's a science communicator. Remember what that means. Damn, I should continue. We'll be here all day. And there's, well, you know, if this guy's Forrest, then you know who his girlfriend's name is, or what his girlfriend's name is, right? Bubba. You remember best good friend? Yeah, this is Bubba. The brain sick, booger-eating Bubba. Goober Gibbon. She's a primatologist. Listen to this, folks. Primatologist, evolutionary biologist, whatever that is. See my previous statement about definitions with citation. If you don't know what citation is, look it up. All right? Evolutionary biologist, yeah, that's pretty funny. A zoologist and paleontologist. What the hell? What school did you go? Did you get these from mail order from Tuco Community College in Tobago? Go ahead and post your credentials, too, just for fun. Just for shits and giggles, man. She focuses much of her activism. Shouldn't she be focusing on these topics back here that she says she is? Or she says she professes that she's has some acumen here? I don't know what this fucking means. What, you got PhDs in these things? Who knows? Who focuses much of her activism on debunking young Earth creationism? What the hell? What in the world is this? Is this like a secretary at Walmart trying to debunk fiber optics? Yeah, that's about the same it's tantamount to. That's really stupid. What's non sequitur? So she's not a creationist. Yeah, none of them are. They're all atheist evotards, folks. Right? We're gonna deal with that right out of the gate, because I'm not putting up with that shit. No phone calls yet. We must be A-OK.
You know how...
Oh, brother.
At the...
What? So this is the thinking atheist, folks. That's a contradiction in terms. I'm going to show you that in spades over the next few minutes. I mean, you've got married bachelors, achromatic rainbows, and military intelligence over in the corner. They're dying from tear-jerking belly laugher syndrome. The thinking atheist. Like I said, before we introduce the other numpties, let's just deal with this, because we all know they're not creationists, they're atheists. We all know that. So let's just go ahead and get this out of the way right now. Oh, atheist tards, whatever that is, by the way. And the reason why I say that is back in the day, this is a few years ago now, I listened to Steve McRae. You know Steve McClown of the Clan McClowns? He had a video, a live stream, and he had a panel of atheist tards on there. And the whole mission was to define atheism, or atheist. After 9 hours, I think it was somewhere in the vicinity of 9 hours, it all ended with them pissed off at each other. I was there. I got fat that day because I just kept on eating the popcorn, laughing my ass off, right? So that's why I say whatever that is for atheist tards. Got it? So, tards, to say no God, that is a creator or intelligent designer, okay? I'm emphasizing that, guys. You're going to see why. In about 5-6 minutes, it might take me longer to get through this. You're going to see why these knuckle-dragging window lickers get into haggling over, or not haggling, I guess you can call it haggling, but arguing whether the creator is an intelligent designer or God. And that there's a problem that they think that the creationists have an issue. They have nefarious motives about hiding the intelligent designer as a creator. It's batshit insane. So I'm just saying, just humor me. You're going to see what I mean here. So to say no God, that's a creator, that's an intelligent designer, atheist tards. You must believe. Here we go. Ink, paper, and glue molecules can author technical instruction manuals and blueprints. That's DNA. Then construct protein robots. Kinesin, ATP synthase, Celia, a lot of these guys, etc., etc. The laws of thermodynamics, the pillars of science, are false. I'm going to show this in spades in a couple minutes. The laws of physics and chemistry contain symbolic logic functions. Yes, sir. Yep. You must believe these. Quantum mechanics in total just got bludgeoned and left for dead. I'm going to show you that here in a few minutes, too. Law of cause and effect is falsified. Something can come from nothing naturally. The law of biogenesis is falsified. Life really does come from non-life. Dozens of constants arrange themselves within absurdly ludicrous parameters. The largest one, I can't think of anything that's going to be larger ever. The largest one 1 part in 10 to the 10th to the 123rd power. Not 10 to the 123rd power. Let me say this again. 1 part in 10 to the 10th to the 123rd power. Right from that one of their pseudoscientists. Because I didn't make that up. This number right here. So you're saying there's a chance? This number right here is unimaginable. I tried to break it down. It was a few years ago when I ran by this, and I couldn't give it its it's justice. I can't, because it's so large. I don't think any mathematician can do it justice. I really can't. So I didn't make this shit up. We're going to see who said this here in a second. So I digress. The largest 1 part in 10 to the 10th to the 123rd power by chance for the universe and life to exist. And giraffes really do come from bacteria. Yep. You must be scientist. Make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, these atheistic evotards are dumber than a bag of hammers. And they don't even realize it. We're in 2023. I can't even believe I have to speak to this now. I mean, how long has this been over? Are you that delusional? That's rhetorical. You are. My word. So, where did I get that number from? Let's take a look at this. Now, when I provide citations, they're usually heavyweights. This is no exception. I'm not playing any games with these knuckle draggers. I've got the heavyweights behind all their pseudoscience. So, like the ball-tard spinning space monkeys, these spinning space monkeys, they don't parrot the correct pseudoscience. So they're not creationists. They don't believe in a creator. Here's Professor Roger Penrose, The Emperor's New Mind. Here we go. How big was the original phase space volume W that the creator, goodness, he names them right off the bat. You understand the creator, the intelligent designer, God, had to aim for in order to provide a universe compatible with the second law of thermodynamics. Don't you just love the second law of thermodynamics? It shows up and just eviscerates pretender clowns everywhere. I love the second law of thermodynamics, to be perfectly honest with you. But I digress. I'm going to just start over. How big was the original phase space volume W that the creator had to aim for in order to provide a universe compatible with the second law of thermodynamics and with what we now observe? This now tells us how precise the creator's aim must have been, namely to an accuracy of 1 part in 10 to the 10th to the 123rd power, folks. Actually, that's kind of non sequitur because it's actually impossible, and this denotes some type of chance. But he had to put a number on it, so I let him go. Let's get to something a little more doable. And this is from Leonard Susskind, professor of physics, Stanford. Listen to this closely, folks. There are many constants that have to be. That means they must exist. Or the universe and life could not exist. But I want to focus on just two. I only dealt with the cosmological constant. I let the other one go for some reason. The cosmological constant, this number is tuned to 1 part. Now, this is 10 to the 120th power. Nothing in the vicinity of the one above. This tuned to 1 part in 10 to the 120th power. That's 1 part in a trillion, 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 trillion. For the universe and life to exist. Nobody thinks that's accidental. That is not a reasonable idea. Yeah, no shit. That something is tuned to 120 decimal places just by accident, I think they, and what he was talking about was physicists, were somewhat afraid that if it was admitted that the reason the world is the way it is has to do with our own existence. Oh, goodness gracious, Leonard. What are you talking about here? Oh, that's a good one. We may get back to that during the marathon, but I digress. I'll say it again. If it was admitted that the reason that the world is the way it is has to do with our own existence, that could be hijacked by what? There's a reason why I highlighted. You see the way he did this? The creationists, the intelligent designers, crayon munchers. You see, creationists and intelligent designers, they're synonymous. Okay? Goodness gracious. This is what I have to don't worry, guys. You're going to hear it. Just trust me. Right? The creationist, intelligent designer, and God. Okay? My word. So, the atheist obliteration. Here we go, real simple. Get your own friggin' dirt. I know you don't understand that. You will by the end of this, I'll guarantee it. Creation and the beginning. So, you're not a creationist. Obviously, that's rhetorical. We already know they're atheist hearts. If no, you stand in direct contradiction, crayon munchers, with the laws of thermodynamics and quantum mechanics. Now, I'm not just going to state the highlight or the headline here. I'm going to explain why. That's the difference between me and you. I know what the hell I'm talking about and can demonstrate it in spades. All you knuckle draggers, all you do is just parrot fucking headlines. You wouldn't know your ass from a pipe wrench. So let's go through this step by step so there's no misunderstanding, shall we? So remember, the laws of thermodynamics and quantum mechanics. We're going to take a hiatus in the middle here and talk about information. But don't worry, that's connected with quantum mechanics. I'll make the connection for you. So the laws of thermodynamics. Let's get into this. The first law of thermodynamics. The total amount of matter or energy in the universe is constant. That is, nature or natural law cannot create or destroy matter or energy. That's the first law of thermodynamics. The second law of thermodynamics. The amount of energy available for work is running out. The universe is moving inexorably to maximum entropy or heat death. You guys following that up to that point? I'm talking about the atheist hearts. So now we can take these two statements and make some conclusions. Here's one. If the total amount of matter or energy is constant and the amount of usable energy is decreasing, then the universe will end. The heat death, the big chill. Do you get that? Ergo, guess what that means? It had a beginning. That's creation. Beginning, creation. Do you understand how those two terms connect? And not the Big Bang pseudoscience train wreck. Here's another one for you. See if you can follow this. Since the first law states that nature cannot create or destroy matter or energy, it can only change form. I don't need that part. It's not relevant. So you understand that nature cannot create or destroy matter or energy. Why? Because the laws of thermodynamics are natural nature laws. You get it? Probably not. Ask one of your fleet of slobber nurses. And since the universe had a beginning, two lot, if you didn't understand that from above, it's going to become clear here in a few seconds. And since there are only two choices for how we in the universe are here, and it's a true dichotomy, nature versus intelligent design. You see this intelligent design? That means creator. Do you understand that? The intelligent designer, the creator, God. All three mean the same thing. Only two choices. Now, you can try to come up with a third choice, but it ain't going to happen. All the other choices will fall under one of these two categories. They're called the ontological primitives. You may have to look that up. And since matter, nature, can't pre-exist before its existence, then poof itself into existence, and before that poof itself from nothing into pre-existence, therefore a creator. Frigging duh. Everyone's a creationist. Hello, McFly. So let's go with the heavyweights here again. I haven't left off the heavyweights. See if you can follow this, atheist hearts. It is said that an argument, this is Alexander Valenkin, Many Worlds in One. Like I said, heavyweight. It is said that an argument is what convinces reasonable men, and a proof is what it takes to convince even an unreasonable man. With the proof now in place, cosmologists can no longer hide behind the possibility of a past eternal universe because it violates the second law of thermodynamics. He doesn't say that. We're going to get to it. He continues, there is no escape. Do you understand that, tards? They have to face the problem of a cosmic beginning. And what is the beginning? That's creation. From Professor Paul Davies. The big questions in the beginning, ABC Science Line or Science Online. The universe can't have existed forever. We know. See these watchwords? There must have been an absolute beginning a finite time ago. You getting it? Beginning, creation. You idiots are in a world of hurt. From the late Stephen Hawking. This argument about whether or not the universe had a beginning persisted into the 19th and 20th centuries. It was conducted mainly on the basis of theology and philosophy, with little consideration of observational evidence. This may have been reasonable given the notoriously unreliable character of cosmological observations until fairly recently. The cosmologist Sir Arthur Eddington once said, "Don't worry if your theory doesn't agree with observations, because they're probably wrong. But if your theory disagrees with the second law of thermodynamics, it is in bad trouble." In fact, the theory, which isn't a theory, that the universe has existed forever is in serious difficulty with the second law of thermodynamics. Let me translate that for you. It's in direct violation of the second law of thermodynamics, clowns. The second law states that disorder always increases with time. Like the argument about human progress, it indicates that there, listen up, must have been a beginning. And by the way, Arthur Eddington, his exact words in 1930, if your theory is found to be against the second law of thermodynamics, I can give you no hope. There is nothing for your theory but to collapse in the deepest humiliation. Couldn't have said it better myself. And he's one of your pseudoscience priests. So, silly spinning space ape fucksticks. Beginning equals creation event. Therefore, everyone must be a creationist. Do you follow that vein, that train of thought? Do you see where I came up with that conclusion? Fucking clowns. So an atheist, whatever that is, and an evolutionist, whatever that is, their creator has to be nature. Can't be, they're not creationists, so it must be nature. Can't be an intelligent designer. Which must have pre-existed before its existence and poofed itself into existence, and before that poofed itself from nothing into pre-existence. That's your position. And you're supposed to be fucking intellectuals. Why don't you post your slobber nurses pictures? That's what we need to see. We know they're there. Fucking retards. Information. I am going to love this. Like I said, we're taking a hiatus here, not too far away, because information is all about quantum mechanics. We're going to see that here in spades, but let's go over this. I think this might be enlightening. Back to Paul Davies. He seems to show up a lot. Information is more than just a description of our universe and the stuff in it. It is the most basic currency of existence. Uh-oh. Occupying what theorist Paul Davies terms as the ontological basement of reality. Professor Davies is close. Information is the consequent of its necessary antecedent. A knower, an intelligent agent, the creator. Because you can't have information without an intelligent agent. It doesn't exist. Number one, fact, irrefutable. Information, code, software is only ever caused by intelligent agency. Without exception. That is, whenever we find information existing and trace it back to its source, it invariably leads to an intelligent agent every single friggin' time. My support? Library of Congress, all books, all newspapers, all languages, all computer software. The information age. The null hypothesis in support. You're probably going to have to look up null hypothesis too, if I were to take a stab in the dark. Null hypothesis in support. Nature or natural phenomena causation cannot create algorithmic cybernetic coding and decoding schemes. That's information. At the very least. There's many other examples, but I kept it short so I could be concise. If you cry foul and claim there is no information or code in the genetic code, you're friggin' screwed. From Hood and Gallus, from Nature, the most prestigious science journal, quote unquote, in the entire fucking world. DNA has two types of digital information. Not only information, digital information. The genes that encode proteins, which are the molecular machines of life. Like we got nature out here constructing molecular machines. But I digress. They are the molecular machines of life and the gene regulatory networks that specify the behavior of genes. Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs. From the king topper of information theory, H.P. Yaki. Get your fucking ass down there. H.P. Yaki. Listen closely. The genetic code performs a mapping between the sequences of the 4 nucleotides in messenger RNA to the sequences of the 20 amino acids in protein. It is highly relevant to the origin of life that the genetic code is constructed to confront and solve the problems of communication and recording by the same principles. Found both in the genetic information system and in modern computer and communication codes. Boy, your asses are grass. Do you feel that? Do you hear that sound yet? That is the sound of inevitability. And when it gets much worse. From Richard Dawkins, the blind hitchhiker, he is one friggin' idiot. But even him, listen to this. There is enough, the blind watchmaker, sorry. There is enough storage capacity in the DNA of a single lily seed or a single salamander sperm to store the Encyclopedia Britannica 60 times over. Some species of the unjustly called primitive amoebas has as much information in their DNA as 1,000 Encyclopedia Britannicas. You need any more? I have roughly 1.8 million more in support if needed. So, my position, the null hypothesis. Nature or natural phenomena causation cannot create algorithmic cybernetic coding and decoding schemes. That's DNA transcription and translation, at the very least. The space ape's position. Alternative hypothesis. Nature or natural phenomena. You have to show this via experiment to justify your position, by the way. Do you understand what an alternative and null are? You don't. Go ahead and look those up. It could take 3 to 5 years for you to figure it out. I'll digress. The space ape's position, alternative hypothesis. Nature or natural phenomena causation can create algorithmic cybernetic coding and decoding schemes. So essentially, these window lickers must show ink, paper, and glue molecules authoring technical instruction manuals and blueprints. Remember number 1 up above that we went over? That's the same one. So if you don't catch the analogy, the ink, paper, and glue molecules are ribose nucleobases and activated phosphates, which I know you're absolutely fucking clueless of. And the technical instruction manual or blueprints is DNA. You get it? Highly doubtful. If not, therefore a creator. If you don't show this by experiment, yeah, it's over. So you got to show it now. Right now. You can't because it's fucking stupid. Inanimate matter fucking creating information. It's coming. The PS is coming. And it's going to open up everyone's eyes. Even the ones that can't fog a mirror, evotards. I'm going to get them against you. Just wait. I'm going to checkmate your dumbasses. Not that I haven't done it so far. Essentially, code contains information, such as a book, Morse code, DNA instructions, etc. Information is only created by authors, intelligent agent. DNA is a code, therefore DNA has an author. Game, set, fucking match. Here comes my PS. I love this PS. Here it is. Here it is, baby. Question. If you're an atheist retard spinning space ape, that is a philosophical naturalist or realism cuck, whose quintessential cornerstone belief is that matter or energy is all there is, then how in the fuck do you account for the existence of information, por favor? Ah! Huh? How do you even account for its existence? From Norbert Weiner, Professor of Mathematics, MIT, information is information, neither matter nor fucking energy. How do you account for information even existing? Do you feel that? You hear that sound? You probably don't. You're too dumb. Here, let me give you a visual. I'm going to tell you what just happened to you and your fairy tale fucktard religion. There it is. Do you get it? Just with the PS. I'll let it run a couple times so it can get through. You don't realize it, do you? Dumb fucks. My word. I can't believe, like I said, this is 2023. And I'm still out here educating on it. Like you have a seat at the table or something. Fucking clowns. And all your supporters, too. I'll take each of them on one at a fucking time. You bring the best of the best to me. They don't have a fucking chance. I don't, PhDs, I don't, bring all your biologists. Molecular, cellular, micro. It doesn't fucking matter. I'll eat them for breakfast. With some fava beans and a nice Chianti. Idiot retards. We're not done yet. It gives a whole new meaning to that shit. Oh boy, here we go. Quantum mechanics. Remember I told you that you're in direct violation of the laws of thermodynamics and quantum mechanics. Now I'm going to walk you step by step on how you are. See, that's the difference between me and you. Silly, spinning, space monkey ape tarts. Where'd you get atoms or molecules without a knower of the existence of the which path information? Por favor. Huh? Remember, get your own dirt? You didn't get that, did you? There is no independent reality, that's matter existing, without a knower, intelligent agent. It's the foundation of all of quantum mechanics. Matter, our reality, doesn't exist without first a knower existence of the which path information. In short, matter/light is derivative, that's the consequent. Information, knowledge is primary, necessary antecedent. Think I'm fucking lying? Because you have no idea what quantum mechanics is. You atheist, retard, dumb fucks. Atheist, pretender, clown, space apes. This is from Bernard de Espagnon in 1979. I was a fucking freshman in high school. That's how far back this is. It goes way further back. Listen closely. The doctrine that the world is made up of objects whose existence is independent of human consciousness, intelligent agency, that's philosophical naturalism, realism, aka atheism. That's what this doctrine is. Turns out to be in conflict, in direct conflict with quantum mechanics and with facts established by experiment. I know you don't understand that because you don't know what experiments are. But my audience does. And anyone that can fog a mirror can see what just happened to you. I can essentially stop right there. But I won't. Where's the fun in that? Pseudoscience retards. You're in direct contradiction, like I said, with literally thousands of experiments without exception. Science-denying, spinning, space ape fucksticks. Say goodnight. From Kim Yan-Hu, 2000, a delayed choice quantum eraser. My namesake, by the way. How the fuck you like me now? Physical review letters. The authors show not only that knowledge of the which path information solely collapses the wave function, but can accurately predict future actions of wave-like and particle behavior after the signal photon has registered and before its twin idler has arrived. That is, quantum mechanical phenomena transcend time and space. That's how quantum mechanics took Einstein out back to the woodshed. It really didn't need to do that. Just third graders with a 50-level basic reasoning acumen. But there, you'll have that. So conclusion from this experiment: no knower, intelligent agent, no matter existing. Do you get it? That's rhetorical. You don't. And the Thaswami, whatever, from New Scientist. In 1967, Simon Cochin and Ernst Specker proved mathematically that even for a single quantum object where entanglement is not possible, the values that you obtain when you measure its properties depend on the context. Oh, shit. You are way in over your head here, tards. You have no idea what that means, do you? That'll be another show. But listen up. That's got some teeth. So the value of property A, say, depends on whether you chose? What? So the properties of something depend on whether an intelligent agent chose? Are you kidding me? I digress. Say depends on whether you chose to measure it with property A or B or with property C. In other words, listen to this. There is no reality independent of the choice of measurement. Conclusion: no knower, intelligent agent, God, no matter existing. Let me just go back up here to this because this is one of my favorite ones. Do you know any doctrines that choice and choice constraints, free choice, is abundant or a foundation of that discipline? I only know two: Christianity and quantum mechanics. Just saying. Conclusion, we'll do it again. No knower, intelligent agent, creator, no matter existing. From Lapquicks, experimental non-classicality of an indivisible quantum system, nature, again. The authors showed that unlike one would expect if reality were independent of the mind, that's the realism or realism cucks, the properties of a quantum system do not exist prior to measurement. Oh boy, you're speaking my love language. Via validating the Cochin-Specker theorem, the one we talked about above. See, they proved it mathematically. Lapquicks then proved it experimentally. Renowned quantum physicist Anton Zellinger, in a related New Scientist article dated June 2011 titled, we just looked at it, Quantum Magic Trick Shows Reality is What You Make It, is quoted as saying that there is no sense in assuming that what we do not measure about a system has an independent reality. Conclusion: no knower, intelligent agent, God, no matter existing. Are you catching up with this now? I doubt it. Let's do some more. Cochin, now at Princeton University in New Jersey, is happy. Almost half a century after Specker and I proved our theorem, which was based on a thought experiment, real experiments now confirm our result. He says, Steinberg, quantum physicist, is impressed. This is a beautiful experiment. If previous experiments testing entanglement shut the door on hidden variable theories, the latest work seals it tight. It appears that you can't even conceive of a theory. That's not a scientific theory. That's a speculation. It appears that you can't even conceive of a speculation, let alone speculate, where specific observables would have definite values that are independent of the other things you measure. Conclusion: no knower or intelligent agent, God, no matter existing. This is beautiful. Zhao Sung Ma, from the proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. These are A-level outfits, ladies and gentlemen. Quantum eraser with a causally disconnected choice. Check this out. The presence of path information anywhere in the universe is sufficient to prohibit any possibility of interference. Let's go back here. You can't, atheist tards, you can't have information existing. You fuckwits. What are they talking about information for? As soon as they mention information, your entire fairy tale philosophy implodes. It's over then. I don't need to do anything else. Fucking clowns. I digress. The presence of path information anywhere in the universe is sufficient to prohibit any possibility of interference. It is irrelevant whether a future observer might decide to acquire it. The mere possibility is enough. Where'd the fucking information come from, atheist tards? You idiot fucksticks. Ergo, now the implication here is I can flip it. The lack of which path information anywhere in the universe is sufficient enough to prohibit any possibility of wave function collapse. That is the formation of matter. Conclusion: no knower, intelligent agent, creator, no matter existing. Is this getting through to you? From Manning, AG, Wheeler's delayed choice Duncan experiment with a single atom. Nature physics this time. Our experiment confirms Bohr's view that it does not make sense to ascribe the wave or particle behavior to a massive particle before the measurement takes place. Who takes measurements? That would be intelligent agents. Conclusion: no knower, intelligent agent, God, no matter existing. Go back to Nature from Richard Conn Henry. Listen closely. Physicists shy from the truth because the truth is so alien to everyday physics. A common way to evade the mental universe is to invoke decoherence. Yeah, more like incoherence. The notion that the physical environment is sufficient to create reality, independent of the human mind. Intelligent agency. Yet the idea that any irreversible act of amplification is necessary to collapse the wave function. What happens when the wave function collapses? Well, you get fucking matter. Is known to be wrong in Renninger-type experiments. The wave function is collapsed simply by your human mind seeing absolutely fucking nothing. The universe is entirely mental. Conclusion: no knower, intelligent agent, no matter existing. Atheist Evo tards. Good God, you're fucked 6 ways from Sunday. 6 ways from Sunday. Atheist ape-tard fucksticks. Your fairy tale religion, atheism, has been scientifically falsified right in front of your eyes by me here today. The creator has been scientifically validated. Imbecile atheist evotard spinning space ape fucksticks. Your fairy tale worldview just crashed and burned with such ferocity, it makes the $6 million man crash and burn look like a fucking fender bender. How does it feel to stage 5 cling with a kung fu death grip to a fairy tale scientifically falsified religion in direct contradiction with the most experimentally validated discipline in the history of actual fucking natural science? How does it feel? Would you please tell us? You fucking asshats! I promised myself I was going to keep it on the lowdown. Sorry. My contempt is, I guess it's palpable. I need to take a fucking break. We haven't even started yet. Let's go out here and see what's going on. Hey, Vlad on the Flat Earth. Appreciate it, man. For the super chat. It says, thanks, QE. Yeah, let's take a little break. I need to take a couple drinks here. Funny, we haven't even started yet. Oh. Do you guys get a feeling on how this is going to go? Goodness gracious. You want me to go back over it? You ran out. Yeah, you would run out of popcorn already. That's for sure. Yeah, Adam, what's up, man? Good to see you, sir. He has to go to work in the morning. He wants me to hurry up. I'm going to go slower than molasses in the wintertime. You can pretty much leave right now. If you don't understand the presentation that I just gave, why are you out here? That's the question you need to ask yourself. I broke it down as simply that I could. It was simple to understand, especially the PS. If all you got out of it was the PS, it's a belly laugher. And if you can't get anything out that PS, then you need to raise your hand. I'll have Tommy come up. You're a retard. I'm going to have Tommy come back and hit you in the head with a tack hammer. How long we been going? Almost an hour, man, and we haven't started yet. Yeah. Is Betty still out there? She's probably gone, man. It's a little bit too late for her. There's more. Yeah. Yeah, there's so much more. They didn't even introduce, well, they penciled in an introduction for the Knuckle Dragon window lickers. But we really haven't started yet. I got on the Thinking Atheist Seth douchebag up there. I don't think he could fog a mirror, folks, to be perfectly honest with you. Not that the other two can. Watch this fiasco. You're not going to believe this fiasco. Thanks for the super chats, guys. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm getting ready for a total archery challenge, man. So, don't be shy with the super chats. Yeah. Appreciate it. Adam Meekin, I just got for the first time your validation for Christianity. Also, nice, by the way. Did you? Where'd you get it? I'd be interested in where you got that. And for the first time. How many times did I've given those presentations? Maybe not together, but in pieces. You'll have to PM me, Adam, and let me know. Yeah, that's correct, Mr. Sam. Yes, you got to have a knower for matter to exist. Yeah, if you got that, then you got it. Yes. Why is this giving me a message? Now would be a good time to insert ads. Why would I want to do that? Creators earn more money. I'm not doing that. Get bent. It's right in my screen. It's like a big old bubble. Get your asses out of here. Okay, I'm not going to delay this any further, man. We're going to get right back into this. Okay, the beginning. You're already toast. It's already over for you. I mean, this is the rest is just academic. But we'll go ahead and do it. Where's the fun if I don't?
Large Hadron Collider. They take.
Why would you be appealing to Large Hadron Collider when that's not natural science, right? They're going after what's and is's. The scientific method only deals with how and why natural cause and effect relationships. So what the hell are you talking about?
Take an atom or two atoms or whatever, and they.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, these are the principles. Now just look. Now, I'm just going to ask you. I'm not usually this superficial, but at first blush, do these look like professionals? like intellectuals to you? Just a question. Not trying to dog them out. Right. To me, they look like they just got their ass beat off a second grade playground. I don't know what's going on over here with Gump, with the nested hierarchy of spider eggs in his fucking head over here. I don't know what's going on with that, this squinty-eyed fruitcake. But, and Bubba, oh God.
Rocket them around, metaphorically speaking, to smash against each other and open a black hole or set fire to the universe. That's what I want to happen.
What the fuck? What the hell is he talking about?
Happen today. I brought you to.
That's what he wants to happen today. Look at this fucking idiot.
To smash your
Gump and Bubba, my best good friend.
brains together.
You're gonna smash their brains together.
As we just kind of see what happens next.
The best would be a root vegetable. That's the best that you're gonna get from these two knuckle draggers. They're gonna show it in spades all by themselves.
And having you two in the same space, I know it's going to be unpredictable.
Yeah, because they're morons.
Just do that. We just came back from dinner.
Really? I don't believe that shit. How'd you eat on your own? I want to see you eating on your without assistance. I don't think that's capable between you three knuckle draggers.
And welcome to the Chateau Andrews, by the way. We're sitting here in my studio, casually just hanging out. We've been talking, and we spoke over dinner about, I guess I'll start with ID, intelligent design.
Here we go, folks. Remember the topic I was telling you about? Here you go. This is so mind-numbing. I don't know are they just that fucking stupid? Is this like a diversionary tactic away from the actual subject area of what their professions are? I don't. You tell me. It's really fucking stupid.
You make a distinction between intelligent design and creationism.
Here we go. You thought I was joking. Watch how long this goes.
No.
I would. It's more that ID nestles within creationism.
Yeah, it sounds like
Nestles, like the nestled hierarchy of spider eggs on the side of this fruitcake's head.
ID is the way that they try to make it sound credible.
ID is a way that who are they? That's a stereotype fallacy. Who are they? Anything? Probably not.
It is. Well, and it's round 2 or 3, right? The Kitzmiller versus Dover trial.
What does the Kitzmiller versus Dover trial have to do with this discussion? She just brings it up all randomly. She's going to do it a few more times. You're going to get your ass handed to you. Brain sick, booger eating Bubba, Goober Gibbon.
Which is our first introduction in the public sphere to intelligent design comes.
What? No, it's not. There's been many trials through the years. 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s. There's a few of them. Off the cuff, McLean versus Arkansas. I think that was in the 80s. Just off the cuff, so you're wrong.
Long after the sordid battle of getting creationism sort of as a...
She's not a creationist. So that whole presentation at the beginning was directed directly at her. And Forrest and the non-thinking atheist.
Strictly religious from a Christian perspective.
Strictly religious? What are you talking about?
Out of the school system. So ID...
Out of the school system? There's already a fairy tale religion in there. Fuckwit evolution. Right? Now, it wasn't at my university. A secular university. We don't need to talk about that. But in the school system, I guess you're talking about grade school and high school. That could be it.
It was sort of the attempt to secularize the idea of this vast intelligence.
What? What the fuck is she on about? Oh, yeah, she's still having a problem with intelligent design and creation. She can't marry those two. And God. Those three, they're synonyms. You daft cow.
designer who might be tinkering in all of biology.
She thinks that God is tinkering. Love, I don't know if you've been keeping up on current fucking events, but you need to go back to the beginning and listen to this presentation. You just made a huge horse's ass out of yourself. Thanks a lot, Sunshine.
And is responsible for the biodiversity today.
Biodiversity, what does that have to do with anything? That's kind of random, isn't it? What does that have to do with Kitzmiller? First we were on Kitzmiller. Now we're on biodiversity. What does that have to do with any... What are you connecting it to? What the hell are you talking about? This clown is incoherent. Bouncing off the funhouse mirrors between her ears. I don't know what she... Anyone know what she's talking about? I don't.
So instead of saying, Father God is out there, they say... Something set all this in motion.
What? What the fuck kind of idiot straw man is that? I never said no shit like that. I never heard anyone say any shit like that. So you're just going to come up and conjure shit? You dumbass atheist? What the what? You tell me, folks.
Someone? I don't even know if they even go that far, do they?
Who are they? Another stereotype fallacy. You like logical fallacies, Seth. You should. You're a fucking atheist.
Someone.
I've heard it be a
Oh my God, he's heard. Is this an anecdotal fallacy?
someone from time to time.
Oh, someone from time to time. That's why we love you. Nested hierarchy of spider eggs. Your meticulous attention to excruciating detail. OCD-like.
Generally, the idea is to make it just sound
What generally is what? What idea to make what sound like what? Fuckstick.
as not superscriptural as possible, but instead rely on
Not superscriptural. What is... I don't know. Folks, I have no idea.
what they specifically don't understand
What they... Who are they and what don't they understand?
as evidence for what they don't think we understand.
Holy shit. How dumb fuck are you? True or false? Ladies and gentlemen, I present Gump. I don't... He did my work for me right there. Holy shit. This fucking guy is so incoherent. I can't even believe he's sitting up straight by himself. Did you understand that shit? Let's rewind it. Let's go 10 seconds. I'm gonna let it play through and see if you can understand as like an idiot.
Even if they even go that far, do they? Someone.
I've heard it be a someone from time to time. Generally, the idea is to make it just sound as not superscriptural as possible, but instead rely on what they specifically don't understand as evidence for what they don't think we understand. And
Everyone got that? OMG, dude. Thank you. Prosecution rests.
that's the wonderful thing about science, is that that's not
Wonderful thing about science, where did science all of a sudden come in here? All randomly. Like you know what science is. Like I told you in the beginning, you wouldn't know what natural science was if it climbed up your arse and started kicking footballs wrapped in jalapeno lace concertina wire, sunshine. That's a fact.
not how science works.
That's not how science works. Let me squint a little bit more.
What is that?
Fucking clown.
I've got a mug downstairs that said, it says science doesn't give a fuck.
Oh my God. So, Mr. Atheist Tard, he now thinks that science cares what people believe. I didn't say it, folks. He did. He even got it printed out there for you. This fucking clown. I don't know. So he thinks the concept, the method, cares about what sentient beings believe. Think about that for a second, folks.
Fuck what you believe. And just my favorite mug lately. I don't know.
Oh, I bet it's your favorite mug. You stroke it and keep it in your hope chest? Huh? Atheist tard. Unbelievable.
Go ahead, Eric.
No, I was going to say, make no mistake, the folks who are putting intelligent design forward, these are
The folks, the folks, that's a stereotype fallacy. What is she going to start? She's going to start divining complete strangers' thoughts. Is that what she's going to do?
not individuals who have any doubt in their mind as to who the designer
Oh, they know that she is. Yep. Isn't it time to return to your true vocation? Brain sick, booger eating, Bubba. Carnival. Guessing people's weights or barking for the yak woman. Maybe you can get your good friend over there, Gump, to help you out, and he could be a pixie dust spreader for a tilt-a-whirl. You can live happily ever after. And I don't think he could do that competently, by the way. Yep, so she's gonna fucking try to divine complete strangers' thoughts from her stereotype fallacy.
is.
Can't make
You
this
won't
shit
find
up.
very many people out there. In fact, I struggle to come up with a single one who
You struggle. I know that. You're struggling with activities of daily living, just regular ones. I don't see how you do it. I don't. You know what you need to do? You need to get on your knees and start praying ceaselessly to the rocks, pond scum, whatever, for the autonomic nervous system. Because if you had to think to breathe, sister, you'd be in big trouble.
who's an intelligent design advocate, where the designer is not God from
Here we go. She can't reconcile that the intelligent designer is God or not, or the creator. You thought I was kidding?
the Christian religion or from another sort of Abrahamic.
Christianity is not a religion. Define religion. On your next stream, I want you to define religion. That's what citation, by the way. Remember I said that in the beginning? Everything I want you to define on your next respective streams are with citation. Try this. Define religion, then define evolution, then define a scientific theory, then post the scientific theory of evolution, then post an experiment that validates that scientific theory, and then I want you to dovetail them all for us on your next stream.
Stance. It's always God, it seems. And
Yeah, God is the creator. He is the intelligent designer. Next block of instruction, how to sit down. Then point at a horse.
nowhere was this more evident than, as I like to always bring it back to Kitzmiller versus Dover, because
Yeah, because it's fucking incoherent. Look at this. What in the fuck is this? Goodness gracious, girl. All right, let me back out of this. So you're back with Kitzmiller. You got this fucking fatuation with Kitzmiller. Are you going to connect it to something coherent?
that's like the classic for intelligent
Maybe.
design.
Explain what Kitzmiller versus Dover was.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, so back in 2005,
You got the date right.
intelligent design was being put forward as this potential toe-to-toe adversary, something that could be taught side by side with evolution. As this
They think they got a seat at the table. Oh my God, they're fucking delusional. Bubba, what the hell is evolution? Can you tell me that? Remember, you're going to have to do that on your next stream. Get ready, folks. Get the popcorn out. Never going to happen. It'd be easier for her to fucking sprout artichokes out of her armpits than, well, she might be able to define evolution. She'll give the colloquial definition, change, right? That horse shit. But she ain't going to post anything else. She won't be able to define anything else. You know why? Maybe a scientific theory. She'll fuck that up. But there's no possible way she's posting the scientific theory of evolution. You want to know why? Because it doesn't fucking exist. And it never has. Clowns.
Alternative idea. Maybe things didn't
An alternative idea.
evolve by chance. Maybe instead.
Maybe things didn't evolve by chance. What's evolution? So, like I said in the beginning, any appeal to evolve, evolution, any bullshit change like that, it's an appeal to or an argument to authority fallacy. Yep. Simple as that.
There was a designer. And typically this doesn't mean a tinkerer or someone who sets in, evolution in motion.
What's evolution? Look at her. Poor dumb bastard. Make sure you roll back to the beginning, to those couple presentations about atheist tards and evo tards and information and the laws of thermodynamics and quantum mechanics, love. Okay? You booger-eating bubba.
And typically, this is strictly in reference to someone who's actively at work, creating things either ex nihilo,
What does ex nihilo mean? You see, this is what these retards do. They get these terms and phrases from their collating secretary professors at university, and they just parrot these terms out to retards. They know their target audience is dumb as fuck. Right? So they just parrot these sciencey sounding terms, and they think that makes them scientists. I shit you not. What does ex nihilo mean? What does that mean? Is that the space between your ears? That's probably it. That's my contention.
Directly or indeed very involved. And the Kitzmiller versus Dover trial was.
Oh, she put the title up. Oh, she didn't. The other dipshit did. Okay, wow, this is impressive. What he asked you what it is. Why don't you tell him? Why don't you start off with the judge's pedigree information? Why don't you start there? This is going to be a belly laugher, folks.
The response by the people of Dover to this. It was their outcry against this idea because, as I hope we'll discuss, intelligent design as...
What's intelligent design? Does that mean a creator?
an idea
or God. Unbelievable.
Is vacuous. There's not much.
So it's vacuous. Creation is vacuous after the presentation I gave in the beginning. Can you believe that? Just one hand wave dismissal. Let's go to the headlines. Judge rules intelligent design is not science. That's amazing. He must be right. Of course, Judge Jones has absolutely no training in science whatsoever. He was the former head of the PA State Liquor Control Board. I shit you not. So what these evo-tards do, they get authorities that have no fucking science background whatsoever and get them to adjudicate stuff officially. That's how they can get their shapeshifter in. You see the game? I don't know, Bubba. Booger eater. What's next? I'll tell you what. Let's put it in front of the Teamsters. Let's see what they think. How about MAD? Or maybe PETA? We'll just put this topic up to them and see what they think, and we'll go by their ruling as non-scientists adjudicating science matters or scientific matters. Does that make any fucking sense to you, love? Idiot ass clown.
Much to it. And I don't mean that to be insulting per se. I mean that
it's not insulting. You're a fucktard.
Very literal sense. There's nothing to it. There's no...
The literal sense, what does that mean? Literal sense of what?
Model there, as we'll...
There's no model there. On your next live stream, I want you... Also, Gump, too, Bubba. I want you to define a scientific model and then give an example of one. Dovetail it with your other definitions above. Okay? You don't have a model. You can't even define your fairy tale fucking religion.
Discuss, but the reason why I think you can very clearly say that it's always one of the Abrahamic gods is because...
She's back on whether the intelligent agent is a god or not. I don't... What... She's so fucking all over the place. I don't know where does anyone else know where she's at? I thought we were on Kitzmiller. Unbelievable.
During this trial, the intelligent design textbook
Oh, here,
that was
we're back again. Okay.
being put forward of pandas and people. I believe it was Eugenie Scott, actually, who was involved in this. It goes
Eugenie
back
Scott, she's a fucking real wingnut. Where's she from? National Centers for Science Education. That's where she's from. I had to go back. I had to go back in the fucking in the files that have been stored. Yeah, she's a real wingnut. So what did Eugenie Scott do?
and starts looking at the previous iterations of the designer.
Oh, Steve's going. I can't believe this. Folks, this fucking imbecile is talking about some other wingnut that's going back in the literature to see if the creator's is an intelligent agent. I shit you not. Meaningless, fucking substanceless, worthless drivel of just a ground squirrel level truth. This is fucking getting scary.
Word in this book every time the designer was brought up.
They took the word. You thought I was bullshitting you at the beginning, didn't you? Yeah. Don't ever doubt me.
You get back far enough in time, you'll find that it goes from being the designer to the creator.
I told you. What did I tell you? Unbelievable.
Right? Which is explicitly very Judeo-Christian. But fascinatingly enough, and this just tickles me.
Judeo-Christian. Oh, sorry. Seems like she got something against Judeo-Christian for some reason. Who the fuck knows where she's going to go with this?
Right? Which is explicitly very Judeo-Christian. But fascinatingly enough, and this just tickles me every time.
Oh, we got a Tickle Me Baltard doll. Another one. She's just tickled. What's she tickled about?
A transitional species was uncovered.
Look at her hands! A transitional species. Like the mad scientist. What the fuck is that? On your next stream, I want you to define, by citation, by the way, just in case you forgot, species. I want you to give me every single fucking definition of species from 2,000 years ago till now. That's what we're going to need you to do. So you're not equivocating. Okay, love? You daft cow. Right? And transitional what does this have to do with anything? Does this have something to do with the Dover trial that we were just on? Or are you off on another incoherent tangent again? Transitional species. Let's take a look here. She's fucking incoherent. Let's see if we can get something else from these guys. So, like I said, heavyweights. Sorry about that, guys. Go down here. Douglas Fudiyama, PhD, Professor, Evolutionary Biology. Science on trial. One of the most striking and potentially embarrassing features of the fossil record. The majority of major groups appear suddenly in the rocks with virtually no evidence of transition, that must be it, from their ancestors. That's interesting. Why would he say that? And you're saying the direct opposite. That's interesting. From Dr. Niles Eldridge, curator of the invertebrate paleontology at the American Museum of Natural History and co-creator of Punctuated Equilibrium with Stephen Jay Gould. Folks, this is the no change fiasco. But I digress. Let's see what he has to say. Darwin's prediction, make sure this isn't a scientific prediction. This is should state speculation. Darwin's prediction of rampant, albeit gradual, change affecting all lineages through time is refuted. Shocking surprise, speculation gets refuted. The record is there, and the record speaks for tremendous anatomical conservatism. Change in the manner Darwin expected is just not found in the fossil record. He's kind of not echoing your statements there, love. Like I said, back to the heavyweights. Henry G., PhD. Paleontology, evolutionary biology. Oh, senior editor at Nature at one time. Impressive. To take a line of fossils and claim that they represent a lineage is not a scientific hypothesis that can be tested. Look at that. Holy shit. I like this guy. He may know what a scientific hypothesis is. It'll be the first Evo-tard I ever ran into in 15 years that knew. That's not saying he does know, but there's a chance. I digress. To take a line of fossils and claim that they represent a lineage is not a scientific hypothesis that can be tested, but an assertion that carries the same validity as a bedtime story. Amusing, perhaps even instructive, but not scientific. Look at you go, girl. Look at that. He may actually know what natural science is. I shit you not. Just by the words that he's using. Way to go. He goes on. New fossil discoveries are fitted into this pre-existing story. Oh, he's all over this. We call these new discoveries missing links, as if the chain of ancestry and descent were a real object for our contemplation. Oh, shit, you better shut him up, Evo-tards. It's going down the tubes fast. I mean, whatever that is. And not what it really is, a completely human invention. We're going to get back to this with human inventions and conventions. Created after the fact, shaped to accord with human prejudices. In reality, the physical record of human evolution, whatever that is, Henry G., I don't know if you're still around, but you need to find that monkey. But I digress again. Human evolution is more modest. Each fossil represents an isolated point with no knowable connection to any other given fossil, and all float around in an overwhelming, I love this, sea of gaps. Oh my God. Remember they said God of the gaps? They're just projections, right? It's actually evolution of the gaps. Fucking hilarious, man. Ernst Mayr back with the heavyweights. You know Stephen Jay Gould from above, now Eldridge and Stephen Jay Gould. Stephen Jay Gould's a heavyweight too. He once said of Ernst Mayr that Ernst was the greatest living evolutionary biologist. Now, Ernst has passed away, but you guys get the gist, right? I'm just saying heavyweights, baby. Ernst Mayr, Professor Emeritus, Museum of Comparative Zoology at Harvard. Given the fact of evolution, what? What the fuck is evolution? And how is that a fact? First, you have to define that, monkey Ernst. And then possibly it could be a fact. We'll have to evaluate it after that. One would expect the fossils to document a gradual, steady change from ancestral forms to the descendants. But this is not what the paleontologist finds. Instead, he or she finds gaps. Evolution of the gaps. You see this, guys? Fucking hilarious, man. Then they try to put that shit on us when it's actually evolution of the gaps. Too funny, man. What else we got? Oh, I can't wait for that. All right. Back to Bubba.
Covered. The C design proponentists.
What the fuck is that, and what does that look? C design proponentists. What is that? Anybody fucking know? I don't know. Scary. Very, very scary.
Right, so it goes from creation proponents to intelligent design.
Yeah, a creator is an intelligent agent, you numpty dipshit. She's still on. She can't reconcile intelligent design, creator, and God. She can't do it. That's what they've been talking about with all these fucking back and forth, incoherent, bouncing off the funhouse mirrors between their ears. This is a joke. Is this a joke? You got to be kidding me. What is your major malfunction? You booger-eating Bubba? And where's Gump at? He hasn't said anything in a while. Why don't you pass it over to him? About tired of looking at your dumb ass.
and it's
Incoherent
a
idiot.
typo that contains bits and pieces of both words.
She's into the bits and pieces of both words of typos and shit. Unbelievable. There he is.
A
Mr. Nested Hierarchy Spider Eggs.
perfect example of yet another deadly transitional species to creationism.
Deadly transitional species to creationists? What does that have to do with creation? Hey? With the ones the thing you just conjured, what does that have to do with creation? Who the fuck? You just laugh. Please expound. My word.
So they're just being shaky. I mean, they know we're not.
So there. Who's there? Who are there? Another stereotype fallacy. Way to go, atheist.
Not going to be able to get at this point in time. We're not going to be able to get into the game or stay in.
Get into the. You're not even in the game. I don't know if you've been keeping up on current fucking events, but you need to fucking stroll back to the beginning of this thrashing, and hopefully you'll realize you're not in the game. Clown.
In the game with overtly theocratic language. So now,
What the hell is he talking about now?
let's just say, well, teach the controversy.
What controversy? What's the controversy? Who knows?
Is it a complexity only thing or mostly thing? Hey, it's
Oh, shit. Look out.
wildly complex and
Complexity? You don't know what fucking complexity is. And neither do the wing nuts in front of you. Watch this.
crazy, etc. Therefore, it must be designed.
Who the fuck ever said that? I never said that. And you definitely don't know what complexity is.
Like, don't engineers want the simplistic or the most simple version?
What? If something is simply designed, is it still designed? Does the level of complexity trump whether something was designed or not? You ass clown. Let's see what Gump has to say.
Of a design?
That's definitely a big part of it is complexity. The idea
You don't know what complexity is either. She's shaking her head. You don't fucking know either. You're about to get your asses ripped apart here in a second.
that, like, if I can't conceive of how this thing could have evolved, then there's no way that it could have evolved.
What the fuck? Who makes that idiot argument? And what's evolution? And you don't know what fucking complexity is. I'm going to tear your asses up right now. Again. Let's do it. They don't know what complexity is, folks. They haven't a fucking clue. This is like pedestrian. Listen to fucking Pedestrian Sesame Street. This is functional sequence specified complexity. Pay attention. Tards. Hallmarks reveal intent, purpose, planning, choice, interlinked systems, often with contingency, contrived, without deterministic law-like necessity. There are 3 types of complexity, which you just got done fucking up. Because you don't know what complexity is. This is all over the literature, folks. I didn't make this up. This is easily found. Just with a superficial jaunt through the literature on the topic. So, we got 3 types. We got random sequence complexity, ordered sequence complexity, and functional sequence specified complexity. Random is just how it sounds. It's like the aftermath of a tornado. Completely random. Ordered, just like how it sounds. There's repeating patterns that you can identify. Crystals, snowflakes, sand dunes, fractals are examples. As opposed to functional sequence specified complexity. It puts the lotion in the friggin' basket. Sandcastles, the genetic code, barbecue grills, Indy cars, hyper nanotech machines and robots, kinesin, ATP synthase, flagellum, cilia, ad nauseum. So, random sequence complexity and ordered sequence complexity is a nature construct, whereas functional sequence specified complexity is an intelligent design construct. You see the difference between this and that? Do you fucking get it? You idiot retards. So, what do we have here? What type of complexity is what you're viewing here? Right? I can note some random stuff, but for the majority, it's ordered sequence complexity. There's fucking repeating patterns, right? No amount of this will ever give you that. You must have an intelligent agent build it. Do you hear that sound, Mr. Anderson? It's the sound of inevitability. You fucking ass clowns. The functional sequence specified complexity of a single alleged primitive cell dwarfs that of this sandcastle by exponential fucking magnitudes. Absolutely unbelievable. Let's go to Dr. Leslie Orgel, the king topper of origin of life research. Folks, this is 1973. In brief, living organisms are distinguished by their specified complexity. Duh. Crystals are usually taken as prototypes of simple, well-specified structures because they consist of a very large number of identical molecules packed together in a uniform way. Lumps of granite or random mixtures of polymers are examples of structures that are complex, but not fucking specified. The crystals fail to qualify as living because they lack complexity. The mixtures of polymers fail to qualify because they lack specificity. Back again to the king cheese of information theory. Listen to this closely. From H.P. Yaki. The attempts to relate the idea of order, that's order sequence complexity, with biological organization, or it should state functional sequence specified complexity, that's what he's talking about here with specificity, must be regarded as a play on words that cannot stand careful scrutiny. It can't stand surface level puke from a numpty dipshit level scrutiny. You're toast. You're already toast. Informational macromolecule. Informational. Atheist tards. He's talking about informational macromolecules. You can't believe information exists. Dumb fucks. Informational macromolecules can code genetic messages and therefore can carry information because the sequence of bases or residues is affected very little, if at all, it's not affected at all, by self-organizing physicochemical factors. From one of the kings of the second law of thermodynamics, Nobel Prize winner Ilya Prigogine. Listen closely. The point is that in a non-isolated open system, there exists a possibility for the formation of what? Ordered. This is ordered complexity. Low entropy structures at sufficiently low temperatures, like I was talking about above. This ordering principle, ordered sequence complexity, is responsible for the appearance of ordered structures, again, ordered everywhere, such as crystals, like I mentioned above, as well as for the phenomena of phase transitions. Like I said, snowflakes, ice crystals. This is the important part. Listen up, evotards. Unfortunately for your dumbasses, this principle cannot explain the formation of biological structures. Game, set, and fucking match. This is easy. I can do this in my fucking sleep. I'm embarrassed to even put this out here. Shouldn't you know this? You don't know what fucking complexity is. It's pathetic. And your arguments are not, they're not any better than a clumsy fucking child. Like I said above, no amount of random sequence complexity or ordered sequence complexity or the combination thereof will ever lead to functional sequence specified complexity. Let me give you a couple examples. Cholecystokinin is a peptide hormone that functional protein, not just your everyday average protein. They don't even know what proteins are, folks. So this is to you guys. Cholecystokinin is a peptide hormone, functional protein, produced in the mucosal epithelium of the small intestine and stimulates release of digestive enzymes from the pancreas, vital for digestion and absorption. Without it, you die. You don't die these days, folks, because they can synthesize these enzymes, but you get the picture. Albumin, also a functional protein, from the same functional protein, so they're a family, is only produced by the liver. It consists of a single polypeptide chain of 580 amino acids. Of its many functions, its main function is to maintain intravascular, oncotic, colloidal osmotic pressure. It's vital to homeostasis. Without it, you die. They are functionally specific, sequentially complex. You cannot interchange them. Albumin will not do cholecystokinin's job, and vice versa. And there's millions of other examples, all of them. They are specifically designed for their specific roles and specific functions. Frigging duh. If you're still having a case of the willful stupids with complexity, like our guests have, or mindlessly parroting pseudoscience priests, call or email the SETI Institute, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, and ask them how they tell the difference between random sequence complexity and ordered sequence complexity and functional sequence specified complexity. Ask them. They'll tighten your fucking shot group right quick. Idiots. Information, all of biology, life, the genetic code, replication, transcription, translation, all metabolic pathways, all of fucking physics. That's quantum mechanics. Basically, all of reality are the quintessential examples of functional sequence specified complexity. How you like me now? Fucking clowns. Therefore, a creator. P.S. The largest escrow closing in the history of the universe is at the door. What's your choice? Choose wisely. Oh, God, now I got to come back to this imbecile. No, I'm not. I got to take a fucking break. All right, guys, taking a break. Break in place. Smoke them if you got them. Are you still guys still out there? Yes, I see it scrolling. There you go. Thanks, Arvin. Oh. You think I should get some fresh air? That may be a good darn idea. I'm going to go take a couple breaths. It's freezing outside. I'm going to go. It's not that freezing. It's 40 degrees. Let me go take a couple breaths. I'll take Arvin's advice. All right, I'm back. I'll tell you what, that's a cold 40. That'll put hair on your chest. Speaking of hair on the chest, how's Bubba doing? Oh, boy. So now what? We're going to continue here in a couple seconds. Be patient. Phone's going off. You have to say bunch of nothing. That was quick. Well, I didn't have to walk that far to the outside door. It only took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 14 steps. I didn't rush. I took my time. I even messed with Kitty. I tried to grab him, but he ran away. Oh. How long we been going? Couple hours. Well, thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. We'll get back to the numpties. I just got to take a break, man. You can only take so much. Yeah, I'm going to go get a glass of water. I should have did that. I should have did it on the same trip. Let me go get some water, man. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Okay, getting ready to kick this off. Let me make sure I got this squared, though, so I don't get any phone calls. All right, here we go.
And especially if everybody doesn't know how something evolved, then
if everybody doesn't know how something evolved, what's evolution? Look at this idiot.
really it's just not possible, because if science doesn't know a thing, that means
If
it's
science doesn't know, what does science have to do with this? I thought you were talking about evolution. Let's rewind this back. Did he just equate evolution with science? Is that what he just did? Let me go back 1 second. Let's J him. All right, let's see what he says.
Evolved, then there's no way that it could have evolved. And especially if everybody doesn't know how something evolved, then really it's just not possible, because if science doesn't know a thing.
Yep, he just did. What a fucking ass clown. You think science is evolution? Gump. Stupid is as stupid does. What a fucking wanker. I can't believe it. He doesn't know what either one. Define. On your next live stream, I want you to define natural science. How can an inanimate fairy tale concept, how can that be science? I don't know. It's not even that it's wrong. He's a stone cold dumb fuck. It's hard to even respond to this idiocy. It's doofistry is what it is.
That means it's magic, right? And like what I tend to see happening more and more is
what you tend to see happening. You either see it or you don't. So is this another anecdotal fallacy?
Is that they will then start to.
Who are they? So this is an anecdotal fallacy wrapped up into a stereotype fallacy. Are you attempting to celebrate the entire catalog of logical fallacies here? Buckstick.
Co-opt evolutionary language.
What the fuck is evolution? Before we get to evolutionary language, that's just nonsense. Please, you're going to have to establish what the fuck evolution is. And you never will, because it doesn't exist. Clown.
language and ideas and try to restructure them as creationist ideas. So
What the fuck is he on about? Give an example, because it's all incoherent. You fucking nested hierarchy spider egg idiot.
it's not homology. It's not.
There we go again, dropping the fucking sciencey words. What's homology mean? And connect it to the context of our discussion. See what I told you? That's what they do, folks. They just mindlessly parrot, squawk box, any type of human convention or terminology from their collating secretary professors. And they think that makes them scientists. I shit you not.
A common ancestor. It's a common designer using the same techniques on lots of different things.
Really?
And it's not something that we see a vestigial structure or left.
Oh, there's another one. What is a vestigial structure? This fucking clown hasn't gotten anywhere in the vicinity of an A&P course. Number one. But let's have him. What's a vestigial structure, doofus? And then provide an example of one. He's not going to do it because he doesn't fucking know. And how does that relate to our topic? Incoherent drivel.
Over. That's something that you don't understand yet.
Who doesn't understand yet? You know what that is? That's an appeal to the future fallacy. You can't go from one breath to another without incorporating a logical fallacy. That's all. That's how much of a fuckstick you are, Gump. Unbelievable.
That the creator put there on purpose for some
That the creator put there on purpose. What the hell is he talking about now?
other thing that we just haven't discovered yet. That's called an exaptation.
It's called a fucking moron. He thinks linguistics make him a fucking scientist, folks. He's that fucking stupid. So is she. Look at her. Look at Bubba over here. Unbelievable.
It's when we change something later on, but
oh, that's so funny. Fucking ass clowns.
don't worry about that because that's not real, right? And so
What's not real? Your science acumen's definitely not real. You're a clown. Certifiable. I showed it in spades up to this point. We're only at 6 minutes and 20 fucking seconds. How you think the rest of this is going to go? I actually don't know because I only went up to about there, I think, 21 minutes. So I'll bet the farm, though, that you're going to fuck up the whole way. Gump.
So what happens is it becomes this idea.
What happens? What becomes an idea? What?
The entire thing is based out of the argument
What entire thing and what's the argument?
of personal incredulity. I don't know how it happened, therefore it
I don't know how what happened. Who the fuck is he talking about?
didn't. But these other ideas that we can see clearly work actually
What other ideas? And how do fucking ideas work? It's incoherent drivel.
mean what I mean, and you're just misinterpreting reality.
Oh my God, this I'm about tired of him. Can you shift it over to the booger eating Bubba, because you're a moron, certifiable.
Have you noticed that science is both a tool of the devil?
What? What the hell is going on now? Science is the tool of the devil? What the fuck? Where'd he get that from? Is that what he thinks I think? What? Folks, I don't know. They're just pulling it right out of their asses.
Faith-based and completely unreliable, and it's also the biggest tool in our arsenal to prove God. Have you noticed
That's the fucking stupidest straw man I've ever heard in my life. But that's not surprising. It's coming from a dumb fuck atheist. Did you hear that? Let's do it again.
a tool of the devil, faith-based,
Let's do
and
it.
completely.
Sorry, let's go back
Actually
a little
mean
bit
what
there.
I mean, and you're just misinterpreting reality.
Shut
Have
up.
you noticed that science is both a tool of the devil, faith-based, and completely unreliable, and it's also the biggest tool in our arsenal to prove God? Have
Yeah.
you
That's the biggest horse shit I've ever heard in my life, folks. I don't know what is that? What is this fucktard performance here? Please. You're imbeciles. Anyone that can fog a mirror should know, they have to know that you're imbeciles. Everything you said has been imbecilic from the word fucking go. Incoherent, not connected to anything, filled with logical fallacies to the brim. I don't know, folks. You tell me.
notice it's both things at the same time?
It has to be.
Just as long as you don't go to one of these liberal colleges where
Of
they
course.
Oh, God, what is... Oh, my God. What the fuck? Let me do this. What the fuck is this? Are you a fucking Klingon? What the fuck is that? Folks, are you seeing this? Holy shit. What is that? Do you see it's bordered and this? Oh my God. Here, let me rewind this because I want to catch what he said. I don't know. That's really fucking scary, dude. Go back.
Both things at the same time.
It has to be.
just as long as you don't go to one of these liberal
Ah! That's even worse. Oh my God, man. I'll leave it. Listen, PM me, man. I don't, you tell me. Holy shit.
colleges where
Of
they
course.
teach you math and stuff.
Of course.
Teach us math. What does that have to do with the discussion? What does mathematics have? Listen here, sunshine. Fucking Gump. I can out math you. I can out biology you. I can out physics you. I can out baseball you, football you, tennis you, basketball you, intellectual you. Every fucking thing. Archery you. Sunshine. You clown dumb fuck. Let's get
That would
that
be-
straight. Okay? Better hope we never meet.
Due to the wrong statistical
Right, right.
conclusions.
Statistics. What does statistics have to do with this? Define statistics in your next live stream. Bet you can't. Fucking clown. Yeah. Yeah, numpty dipshit. Mr. Nested Hierarchy. Fucking spider eggs on your head.
Yeah, it tends to boil down to one of two arguments from the idea.
From the, one or two. Oh, now we're going to get to some arguments. Okay, let's see if she can get the two arguments. I know I have more than two arguments. Let's see if she can get them.
Proponents. You see the argument from incredulity, as Forrest noted.
What argument from incredulity? All the arguments that you've given thus far. Do you project much? Baba. What is the argument from incredulity from me? I'm a creationist. You said from creationist, so that means me. Where's my argument from incredulity, love? It's never to be found. You're just making shit up. You know what you are? What? Tell me something. What is the difference between you and your average fucking village idiot with baseless assertion after baseless assertion with every breath? Can you tell us? Go ahead and define that shit. Tell us what the difference is.
And you see irreducible complexity, right?
Oh! All right. Now, she's brought up, you can't make this up. She's brought up the Dover Kitzmiller trial. Of course, she didn't make any fucking connection to anything with it. Now she brings irreducible complexity. You gonna step from the fire into the blast furnace, Bubba. Good Lord, I hope you do.
This argument that we have these structures that
Yeah, what is Define irreducible complexity. I will bet the farm you have no fucking clue what it is. Guarantee it. Is she going to state it?
Exist, whether it's the blood clotting cascade or the immune
Oh, yeah. Blood clotting cascade, baby. Right into the blast fucking furnace. Bring up the flagella and it's over.
system or the bacterial flagellum, right?
Yeah,
These
it's
structures
over.
that
It's over. This is going to be a fucking decimation. I'll tell you what, Evo Tards, if you're watching, I'll give you a couple minutes. You better turn away. Because I'm going to get medieval on this ass clown right here. You ain't going to believe it. I got all those in a single presentation, which he just said. Detailed, step by fucking step. The ones that she just glossed over with her fucking language that she can't speak to. You're fucking through, love.
they simply cannot exist because every single part of them is required and must have evolved at the exact same
Must have evolved. That's not irreducible complexity. She doesn't know what irreducible complexity is. And what's evolution? What's evolve mean? It doesn't. It doesn't fucking exist. She's a delusional pretender clown asshat fucking airbag.
same time, and that is statistically impossible. These are
It doesn't have anything to do with statistics. She doesn't know what she's speaking of.
the irreducibly complex
Yeah.
forms in biology.
Really? Where?
And, you know, I've been doing this for a while, and Forrest has
What? Being a dumbass. Yeah, you've been doing that for a while, yes.
as well. And I've yet to come across, rather, I guess I should say, a single truly irreducibly complex form. And
So because you haven't come across a truly irreducibly complex form, you don't know what irreducible complexity is, so how would you know if you even fucking passed it? So just because you haven't found it, then it means it's not true? Does that sound a little fallacious to you? Booger-eating Bubba. Perhaps? Fucking ass clown.
And moreover, I've seen
Oh, and more. She's going to give us a moreover.
forms that in the past were unexplainable, and, you know, creationist unexplainable just means unanswered. right? This is
Creationist.
just-
Oh, that's what it means. So that's what you think it means when I hear the word or say it's unexplainable. She knows what I fucking mean by it. She can divine my thoughts. Mrs. Carnival fucking tent right here. Look at her. Look at her dumbass. It's just stupid fucking drivel. She doesn't know her ass from a pipe wrench, folks.
something we haven't figured out yet that has
Oh, you haven't figured out yet. Guess what fallacy that is? Appeal to the future fallacy. They're celebrating the entire catalog, folks. We're not even 8 minutes in yet. You're a real piece of work, Bubba. You booger-eating schmuck.
have through the years become explainable. This is
We don't care if things have become explainable. We're not into explanations. Any idiot can fucking give you an explanation. Now, if you can give a scientific experiment that validates that explanation, then you'll have something. Not your stupid, dumb fuck just so stories. Clown. That's what we need.
the wonder of science, is that
What science isn't a wonder, it's a method. You're an idiot. You don't know what the scientific method is or natural science. You just compromise yourself.
when we have this open question, we don't throw
When we have this open, what open question?
our hands up and say, well, I guess that's it. We're SOL.
Oh, you're SOL. You've been SOL from about the first 2 minutes of this presentation. You just don't throw. What's the open question? You're never going to know, folks, because she's just pulling shit out of her ass.
We try to suss it out. And
Suss what
this-
out? Suss what out? You didn't give us a topic. Fucking moron.
This was on beautiful display again at the Kitzmiller versus Dover.
Oh my God, she's back to the Kitzmiller Dover trial. All over the fucking map. You need some Adderall. Fucking most Ricky Tick. I'd suggest a central line that you know what? I don't even think that would help. I really don't. There's no cure for this shit. Maybe frontal lobotomy.
Dover trial, where Michael Behe, classic intelligent design proponent, noted that
Classic intelligent designer. Does he think there's a creator or a god?
We have no evidence for the evolution of the blood.
Evolution, you have no evidence for evolution, period. Because you can't fucking define it. So you can't have any evidence for something that you can't define and never will. You will never, ever provide the scientific theory of evolution. Can't fucking do it. You know why? I told you before. Doesn't exist. Never has. And she's going to show us when she posts the definitions that I asked her or that I requested from her.
Blood clotting cascade. How could it possibly happen? Every step is incremental.
Yeah, every steps are incremental. That's what makes steps steps. You daft cow. That's how stupid she is, folks.
In such a way that it would have had to happen all at once.
To make sure I understood you.
Oh, brother.
The blood clotting cascade?
Yeah.
Right in my fucking wheelhouse. I can't believe that these guys went there and to the flagellum. The dumb fuck Seth is awestruck by the phrase blood coagulation cascade. I shit you not. Look, they're all proud of each other. That they know how to say it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at him. All proud. Yes, the blood coag. He doesn't know dick. He doesn't know anything about the blood coagulation cascade. Nothing. Neither does this idiot. Let's see if she does.
I'm a layperson playing along.
Sure.
And you're flying along like Forrest does. Light speed.
Oh, very impressed that I could say blood coagulation cascade. Just flying around like a squinting fucking nested hierarchy spider egg idiot. Gump.
So I got to stop and say, okay, what is the blood clotting cascade being developed? What are we talking about?
Yeah, so it's when you cut your
When you cut your finger, oh, this is going to be deep.
finger, right? There's a series of biochemical reactions that are
Really, like what? That's as far as you're going to go, right?
sort of induce one another in order to trigger your blood to clot and close off.
Oh, they induce one like a feedback loop, right? Well, what if something in the feedback loop is not there? Does the feedback loop still work? You daft cow?
Wound, so you stop bleeding. And because each of these things induces the other,
There, she said it. Each of these things induce the other, so all the pieces have to be there. If one piece is missing out of the chain, then what the fuck happens? You daft cow.
the idea is that they would have had to evolve simultaneously.
Evolve? What's evolution? What's evolve mean? Has nothing. Irreducible complexity has nothing to do with your fairy tale fuckwit religion.
And that's statistically very unlikely.
This has nothing to do with statistics whatsoever.
Now, evolution.
Oh my God. Did we already go over statistics? No. They keep on appealing to statistics. From Richard Lewontin, PhD geneticist, professor of zoology and biology at Harvard University. This is heavyweights now, baby. Not that it's changed. It's been heavyweights from the beginning, and it will be all the way through. Indeed, the entire science of statistics, statistics isn't science, Richard, is designed to cope with the ambiguity of most scientific evidence. Scientific evidence is not ambiguous. You don't know what fucking science is, dick. And my professor, Theodosius Dobzhansky. Ladies and gentlemen, Theodosius Dobzhansky, if I had to put the fathers of evolution, I would actually put Theodosius Dobzhansky above Darwin. Actually would. That's how big this is. He's a fucking heavyweight, brother. In fact, he is a conjurer of modern evolutionary synthesis. That's been debunked, by the way. Well, I don't know how you can debunk a speculation, but it's fucking debunked. Even his own people debunked him. But anyway, I digress. Theodosius Dobzhansky, the most eminent experimental evolutionist. Yeah, right. That's a fucking contradiction in terms of his day. Used to say that statistics is a way of making bad data look good. Yep. He just cornholed you. That like no one knew that. This has nothing to do with fucking statistics. You're just pulling stuff out of your ass like a moron.
As a concept, critically, when we're talking about something that comes into being a new morphologic
comes into being, and morphology or morphologic. Can you define morphology or morphologic for us, please, in your next presentation, and dovetail it with the other definitions that I requested, to justify your fuckwit position? And how does something come into being? How does that happen? Idiot.
feature, right? Or a biochemical pathway, or even just a de novo protein.
There we go again, de novo. That sounds sciencey to me. What does that mean? De novo. She definitely doesn't know what proteins are. So let's go to de novo. She's just dropping these phrases and terms. It's not impressing me much. In fact, it's fucking aggravating me.
By definition, everything along the way.
By definition of what? What definition? Definition of what? She doesn't fucking know. Look at her. Brain sick, booger eating Bubba. Definition of what?
Must aid the organism.
Definition of what must aid the organism. What's the definition?
Fitness-wise, right?
Fitness, well, like cancer. You idiot retard.
You're not going to have something evolve and persist.
Evolve. You're not going to have something evolve because evolution doesn't fucking exist. Unless you can define it for us. Post the scientific theory, you know, the things I requested. So you're full of shit. You don't even know what you're talking about. Definition of what? We're still waiting for that.
And go out into the population. I guess drift is an exception.
Drift? What, like driftwood? I've known pieces of driftwood that are smarter than you. That's a fact.
But typically it must benefit the fitness of the organism.
What, like cancer? That's benefit. What the fuck is she talking about anyway? I have no idea. She said it's the very definition of something she didn't even fucking state. She didn't give the definition for it. This is moronville, man.
So the idea is that it's hard to get these things in step one.
What things? What idea? What's the idea and what are these things? This is what I'm talking about, folks. Can you get outside of fucking 1 degree of complete ambiguity for us? Would appreciate that, because this is just absolute incoherent, fucking substanceless drivel that has no point, no connection, no affirmation, no nothing. You're a fuckwit.
Wise. But lo and behold, in the case of the blood clotting cascade or the immune system or the bacterial
blood clotting cascade again. Okay, now we're back to that. Or the immune system. And what?
Flagellum.
All of them. Okay, is what?
Each individual step is in and of itself beneficial to the organism.
So what? No kidding. That's a fucking well duh. Who cares? What does that have anything to do with your fairy tale religion? Or the discussion that you're having? What? My God.
The precursor to the flagella, for example, was effectively like a stinger.
Oh, shit. You hear what she said? The precursor to the flagella. That means whatever the fuck she's talking about. She doesn't know what she's talking about. I'm going to tell you what it is. It's the type 3 secretory system. That's what she's talking about, but she doesn't know because she's an asshat. So what she's saying here is that the type 3 secretory system came first, and then, because it was the precursor to the flagellum. Everyone follow that. I'm going to turn it back and let you hear it again. Let's do a J on her. All right, listen up.
Flagellum, each individual step is in and of itself beneficial to the organism. The precursor to the flagella, for example, was effectively like a stinger for the bacteria.
Fucking stinger. You're a fucking stinger. You're an imbecile. It's the type 3 secretory system. Now, it's already clearly established, right? So the type 3 secretory system, the precursor, number 1, and then the flagella, right? She's all kind of ass fucking backwards. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Watch this, folks. From Messas and Strauss, E.J., Molecular Mechanisms of Bacterial Virulence, Type 3 Secretion and Pathogenicity Islands, Emerging Infectious Diseases. Listen up. It seems plausible that the original Type 3 secretion system for virulence factors evolved from, whatever evolved means, by the way, evolved from those for the flagellar assembly. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. You're bass-ackwards, booger-eating Bubba. Right? What did you say? Remember, you said the type 3 secretory system first, and then the flagella. That's not what they're saying. They're saying the complete opposite. Let's have another. From when? Phylogenetic Analysis of the Constituents of Type 3 Protein Secretion Systems, Journal of Molecular Microbiology and Biotechnology. We suggest that the flagellar apparatus was the evolutionary precursor, whatever the fuck that is, precursor of the type 3 protein secretion system. You fucking clown. It's the flagellum, then the type 3 secretory system. Not the other way around, you dumbass cow. Oh, by the way, this is pure bollocks anyway. All this is bollocks. You're going to see this here in a few minutes. It's incoherent. It's just a point of order, Your Honor, that she's bass-ackwards and doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. Fuck, she doesn't even know what the type 3 secretory system is.
It was like an
Idiot.
administrator.
Like a funky weird cilia.
Yeah.
You could do extra.
It's a funky world Magina. Oh God.
Stuff. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
and it administered
Yeah. That stuff. Yeah. They have no fucking clue.
toxins. It aided the
Sure it did.
bacteria, either in defense, I believe, or
You don't have no fucking idea. You're searching, but you don't fucking know.
curing resources.
It's the type 3 secretory system.
There's that word acceptation again.
Yeah,
by the way.
Oh, there's that word. There's that word fucking moron again. We noticed that one.
Right. And the idea is that you've got Behe sitting up here in this
Asshat.
court case at the Kitzmiller versus Dover trial, and
Here we go. Back to the Kitzmiller-Dover. You're going to get your ass handed to you, love. It's just about here. Where we at? Oh, it's fucking close.
says vehemently, we don't
What the fuck did you just say? Let's go. Did she say vehemently? Let's go back.
up here in this court case at the Kitzmiller versus Dover trial, and he, says vehemently,
Oh my God. Booger eater, Bubba. I think you have the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. Let's fucking check this out.
Vehemently. 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 Vehemently.
Yep, you're a fuckstick. Just a point of order, Your Honor. She's a fucking fraud, pretender clown, idiot. Oh, remember that? Oh, yeah, that's going to be coming back in spades here in a couple minutes. Get ready. You better gird your fucking loins.
we don't have support for this. The cascade cannot evolve for blood clotting. And,
Really?
we have our prosecution who walks up and they
Uh-oh, your prosecution walks up and does what?
set the books on the table,
What books? 10 books, not 11?
10 books, a stack high, and Behe peeks out from behind it. He's getting another stack of books, sets it on the table. Behe's looking at it again.
What are all these books? Do you think that that's going to cover your dumb ass? Just saying books. That's par of the course for this fucking idiot fiasco that we've been witnessing. Just generalizations, just headlines, right? Anytime you get in within any Anytime you get even slightly specific, I hand you your ass. Yeah, it's that easy. I can do this in my fucking sleep.
And he's coming back with another stack, and before you know it, the guy's swamped with books.
Okay, what are these books? What do the books say? How about that? What do they demonstrate? How about that? Wouldn't that be important, fuckstick?
All books detailing the ideas behind how the blood clotting cascade evolved, not just...
Oh, really? Show! Of course, you're going to have to define evolution. Then you're going to have to provide all those requests. And then you're going to have to show the blood clotting cascade. And that's different in different invertebrates. You're going to have to pick one and then show it to demonstrate your horse shit here. Bubba, you booger eater. Or we could just throw this all out as baseless assertion, village idiot horse shit.
One potential pathway, but multiple.
Oh, really? Show. You can't even define irreducible complexity. He's a fucking retard.
Right? Because there are...
Hey, it's...
Oh, sorry about that, guys. Hope you're still out there. They gonna double whammy me here? No.
Skin a cat, as it were. Evolution doesn't simply...
What the fuck did she say? Let's go back. 5 seconds.
Multiple, right? Because there are multiple ways to skin a cat.
So now it's argument by fucking cliche. Is that what we're going to? That's the level that we're at here, folks. She's an ass clown.
As it were. Evolution doesn't simply have one solution.
Oh, now evolution has solutions now. It must be sentient and can reason and shit. That thing you can't define is now sentient. Please, I want that in the definition with the scientific theory because you said evolution has solutions, right? We want to see that shit. Okay, clown?
To one problem, which is why we, ironically, we have too many solutions to pick from.
Oh, yeah, you got too many. Okay, I've fucking had enough. I have had enough. Get ready to get your fucking lungs ripped through your asshole.
Dangerous.
Hey, stop. But why is that all the way fucking up there? All right. So remember, let's take a break just for a second. Let me make sure everyone's still out here. I didn't get a phone call yet, so that's a good thing. Oh, hey, we got super chats. Thanks, guys. Dave's got Arrow sponsoring. Thank you. I need all the Arrow sponsoring I could get. And Retro Bill. Man, I haven't seen you in a coon's age, man. Where you been? Retro Bill says, when this pseudo-intellectual blathers kite. Yeah, I love it. I forgot about that. Isn't drooling over her Crayolas. She's rubbing tentacles with the mutants over at Steve McClown's debate channel. Does he still have a debate channel? Where she recently debated Ken Hovind. Really? I didn't, to be honest, man, I didn't know that Steve McClown of the Clan McClowns had a debate show or she was on it. I was totally... Can you... Well, you can't post it in here. Huh. I'll have to go search it out then. All right, thanks, Retro. And thanks for the super chat, man. Appreciate that. So, we're going to go for a little bit longer because I'm just... It's going to be as bad as the beginning of the presentation for the brain sick, booger eating Bubba Goober Gibbon here, right? It's going to, I'm telling you, Evo Tards, you better fucking leave. It's going to get that bad. So she kept on bringing up out of context, fucking Dover trial, Dover, without any connection, or what she dreamed up. Irreducible complexity, the blood clotting cascade, and the flagella. Well, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, she stepped out of the fire right into the blast furnace. Let's rock and roll, baby. You ready? Here we go.
Right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Science versus Scientism, episode 10. This is Cathexis, and of course, we have Quantum Eraser on. We're going to be going over the subject of evolution and irreducible complexity this evening. Now, I haven't gone through and seen this presentation yet, so it's going to be a lesson for me as well as John goes through and explains everything. So definitely pay attention, because he's...
By the way, I completed the blood coagulation cascade. That was my first ever presentation over 15 years ago. Just wanted to add some pedigree information to that. We'll continue.
He's going to be going over some key points here that the elegance of these arguments are usually missed by the mainstream, and that's why I really appreciate John's presentations. But how are you tonight, John?
Doing very well, sir. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we're going to go ahead and get right into it tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and stop screen sharing and put you on, present to everyone. And you should be good. Let me make sure it's good out there. And a quick shout out to the chat. We've got some great people out there. I really appreciate everybody's support. Looks like that we're up and running. So I'll go ahead and put myself on mute, and we'll get right into it.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at first blush, this religion right here doesn't appear to be connected to the Big Bang, spinning ball, CMB, redshift materialism, gravity, nebular hypothesis religions. But make no mistake, they're all connected right by the lips. So I wanted to discuss this topic just very briefly, because there's not much to discuss. And I usually post these three questions. I always have three questions I usually shoot across the bow first. And obviously these are pretty easy. I mean, what is evolution? Please post the scientific theory of evolution. Then post the validated scientific hypotheses, the experiments supporting it. These seem pretty benign, and rational people would look at that and say, well, those are pretty fair and reasonable questions, but you know what? They're anything but, in my experience. So after a never-ending tap dance, then getting called every name in the book, including some not-so-glowing references to my mother, we finally get to this. I have to give an example, and even in this genre, I can't even get here. I can only remember maybe a handful of times even getting to these. And I'm just giving them examples of what I want. This is how easy it is. From these three questions above, if we had an analogy towards germ theory, what is a germ? Please post germ theory. So, germ, a living substance capable of developing into an organ, part or organism as a whole, a primordium, and germ theory. A specific microscopic organisms are the cause of specific diseases. That's it. The validated scientific hypotheses, I can bring up Louis Pasteur back in the day, with furuncles, osteomyelitis, and puerperal fever. I mean, this is all that I really wanted from the questions above, but I'll tell you what, it's like pulling teeth. But there's a method to my madness, and I understand why. So for 10 years, I've asked these three simple questions to hundreds of intellectuals in the hallowed halls of academia. We're not talking about just the regular Joes here. All I've received eventually, even from them, was the tap dance, and they even started calling me names. Just from those three questions. Something, something's in the roost. And why is that? Why would that be? I'm going to tell you why. This is why. This is a big reason why.
Pay very close attention. Like you weren't anyway. Sorry.
This is from Ernst Mayr. He's a professor emeritus, Museum of Comparative Zoology at Harvard University. And according to Stephen Jay Gould, Ernst Mayr, the world's greatest living evolutionary biologist. He's passed away recently, so I guess this doesn't hold sway anymore, but you get the gist. So let's read through this slowly. You're going to get it real quick. So Darwin introduced historicity into science. That should raise a little slight weathered eye. Evolutionary biology, in contrast, that should be a full eyebrow raise now. With physics and chemistry. Yeah, the actual sciences, right? Is a historical science. The evolutionist attempts to explain events and processes that have already taken place. What does that sound like to you? I'm going to tell you here in a minute. It's the next statement that should jump off the page for you. Laws and experiments are inappropriate techniques for the explication of such events and processes. Are you kidding me? Instead, here's the rub. One constructs a historical narrative consisting of a tentative reconstruction of the particular scenario that led to the events one is trying to explain. That's great, Ernst. Science without experiments. That's a new type of science. They are inappropriate. My goodness, folks. This is like ribeyes without cows. Welcome to an argument from complete ignorance, just so story, his historical narrative, and a cherry on top begging the question fallacy on steroids. One constructs a historical narrative consisting of a tentative reconstruction of the particular scenario that led to the events one is trying to explain. Guess what textbook definition that is? Circular reasoning. My word. How can you have a real scientific theory without experiments and tests when, and this is from Chemistry About, a scientific theory summarizes hypothesis or group of hypotheses that have been supported with what? Repeated testing. From quarks to quasars, a scientific theory consists of one or more hypotheses that have been supported with what? See, it's a repeating refrain here, right? We're getting the picture. From the University of Rochester, a scientific theory represents a hypothesis or group of related hypotheses which has been confirmed through repeated experimental tests. This is what a scientific theory is for about 865th time during our episodes. So what we have here, right? The most validated, this is what we've been told, right? I've been told this so many times. I wish I had $1 for every time I was told this one. The most validated theory in the history of science, right? That's what we've heard. Evolution with no experiments. Only in Shangri-La, folks. And I'll tell you what, the fluoride must be working because this is a joke.
Nice.
This is a joke. Number 3, science distinguishes itself from other forms of explanation because of its predictive powers, correct? Well, from Carol Ward, paleoanthropologist from the University of Missouri, right up the street from me, experts tackle questions on how humans will evolve. Listen to what she says here. Evolution is not a process that allows us to predict what will happen in the future. We can see what happened in the past only. So listen, go ahead and you can email her. I got her email for you right here and her phone number. Go ahead and give her a call. Go ahead and discuss with her your objections. And if you get a chance, go ahead and email Cathexis and go ahead and put the substance of that conversation in. I'd like to say it. In conclusion, crocheting is more scientific than evolution, whatever that may be, because we don't know yet. So if somebody has a definition of evolution or can answer my 3 questions above, feel free.
Once you meet with a TurboTax expert who will do your taxes.
Okay, irreducible complexity, my 2 favorite words on the whole planet. I have to admit to you, I'm usually pretty calm with most subjects. I'll put up with just about anything. But admittedly, when I hear this phrase, something inside me I lose it. I go off the reservation for a bit, lose my wits. Combine this phrase with debunked, and you better send the paddy wagon for me. But after a while, I go ahead and get myself back together. You better gird your loins. Gird them. So this concept was well known before Woodstock. This is from Michael Polanyi, Life's Irreducible Structure, and this was from 1968. Now, we all know who popularized this. It was Professor, and you can add the expletive here, your favorite one, Behe, Michael Behe. If you talk to anybody, or you probably already know this name, he just popularized the concept. That's all he did. So let's define this thing. It's just really important to define what we're talking about here. And you're going to see, when we define this, you're going to see that the arguments that come against it are absolutely preposterous. They're all fallacious. Well, let's go ahead. So, from Dr. Michael Behe, from Darwin's Black Box, right from the book that sent everyone off the reservation. So, a single system composed of several well-matched, interacting parts that contribute to the basic function, wherein the removal of any one of the parts causes that system to effectively cease functioning. So let's carry that definition with us. I'm going to have it down here below too, just in case we forget, because this is very important. It's a very important definition. So why did this prima facie ground squirrel level truth, drive people off the deep end? I'm going to tell you why. Because of Charles Darwin. If it could be demonstrated that any complex organ existed which could not possibly have been formed by numerous, successive, slight modifications, my theory would absolutely break down. The Origin of Species, they never give you the whole title, so I did. On the Origin of Species by means of natural selection or the preservation of favored races in the struggle for life. That's the whole title, folks.
Thank you very
You're welcome.
much.
And that's a big yepper, Charles, especially if it was an actual scientific theory. Because it's not, for one. And I got a question there, Charles. Favored races? Is that the favored races of finches? Just to clarify for us.
We'll get into that later. I got some thoughts.
Yeah, that's the $64,000 question. So, this irreducible complexity, this started out, this was well before I was in the genre. This started somewhere in the beginning to mid-90s. That's when it first, everything hit the fan then. But it really came to a head here in the Kitzmiller-Dover School District, that trial in 2005. Now, we're going to talk about this at the end. I don't want to get sidetracked here, because it'd be real easy for me to go down that lane, but we'll wait on that for now. So, Judge Jones, the presiding judge over the kangaroo court, the former head of the PA State Liquor Control Board, one of his findings from the Dover trial is listed right here. Number 2, the argument of irreducible complexity central to ID employs the same flawed and illogical contrived dualism that doomed creation science in the 1980s. Now, I can't describe in language my contempt for that statement. So I'm just going to give you a little visual on what I feel about it. I think I'm considering making t-shirts. I'm serious when I got this picture, because this encapsulates my feeling on what he just said. And I'm going to get to the specifics here in a minute. This is quite elementary to understand, Judge Judy. Let's use a bicycle. Let's make it simple. You have the frame, the handlebars, handle grips, you got your seat, you got your mirror, you got two wheels, you got the chain, pedals, and the flag. We used to put flag on our bikes back in the day. What irreducible complexity is speaking to is that there are certain parts of the system that must be present and complete and functioning to make a bicycle a functioning bicycle. With our parts above, which are absolutely necessary. It's the frame, handlebars, both wheels, the chain, and the pedals. Ergo, the system is irreducibly complex. This is why. This is very important. Make sure this is another important one besides this definition that I talked about before. For our example, let's take a wheel away. Does the bike still function? If that wheel is used as a functioning roulette wheel for ground squirrels, or the spokes are repatriated and used for shish kebabs, is the bicycle still kaput? Does the mere fact that the parts of the wheel are now functioning for another purpose preclude the fact that the bike is currently a football bat? No, it's still a football bat. Will the frame, handlebars, chain, all of them get together and reconstruct the missing wheel? Do stupid atoms and molecules, inanimate matter, have sentience, prescience, and intelligence, engineering capabilities? Welcome to irreducible complexity. It's as right as the rain. And by the way, the debunking blusters from the peanut gallery and that's Kenneth Miller, who I've been chasing down for years, in total argue that stamp on the forehead straw man fallacy, right? That the existence of the functioning roulette wheel and the shish kebabs disannuls the irreducible complexity of the bike. I mean, it's preposterously ridiculous. This is what sends me here. Let me take a breath. All right, Kenneth. Please reconcile this irreducibly complex system. Okay, this is the abbreviated version minus translation, the DNA translation. So, to make one functional protein, DNA, the blueprint or the instructions or the software, needs to be unzipped, read, and copied. It's called DNA transcription. RNA polymerase is RNA plus functional proteins. This is a mind-boggling complex rotary motor, tape reader, and copy machine, not including the roughly 70 other co-regulators that have to work before and in concert with RNAP that, if not all there and working properly, gives you bupkis. You don't get anything. That means the entire process is irreducibly complex. If RNA polymerase is missing, or one of the 70 co-regulators, those are functional proteins, do you get 1/70th of a functional protein or no functional protein? You get 0. That means the process is irreducibly complex. It's as simple as that. And aside, how are you getting the first functional proteins when you need functional proteins coded specifically for on DNA to make functional proteins? Is that like the space shuttle giving birth to the space shuttle assembly plant? I don't want to go down that road for right now. Let's get back on this irreducible complexity. So, Kenneth, after you reconcile this, Kenneth, I have roughly 1,000 more. That is DNA transcription, translation, replication. We have glycolysis, we have the Krebs cycle and the electron transport chain. We have gluconeogenesis. All these processes in total are irreducibly written, snotting complex. The actual argument is this. You have copper and iron ores. That's ribose, nucleobases, phosphates, and amino acids. You need the Aerojet Rocketdyne RS-25, that's the main space shuttle engine, or ATP synthase right now to survive. So, show how stupid atoms, the copper and iron ores, make the first piece. I want to see that little maneuver. Then, the 1,000 plus additional parts that have to work in concert to make the interlinked system function. This isn't to you guys. This is to Kenneth. You nitwit. Sort of this scenario. See if you can follow this. Premise 1. Interlinked systems require all their parts to be present and fully functional in order to function at all. Premise 2. All interlinked systems require prescience and reason. If any part of an interlinked system is missing, the system doesn't work. I know, real profound. Premise 4. Gradualism states that the system comes about with slight changes over time. Premise 5. Such slight changes over time denotes that parts of the system will develop at different rates because it's gradualism. Hence, it's not a functioning system yet. Conclusion: a gradual system will not allow for the initial presence of the functional interlinked system, since the parts required will develop at different rates, i.e., they're not there yet. As in, if you need to swim with the flagellum or the flagellar motor to survive now, what on earth are you going to do without it now? Trial and error for 1 billion years while you're dead? In fact, it's exponential magnitudes worse due to the functional sequence complexity, which we'll talk about next week, of functional proteins. One amino acid in the wrong place, or one non-proteinogenic amino acid, or a racemic version, can collapse the entire secondary structure. That equals it's not functioning. That ipso facto rendering the tertiary and quaternary structure, if applicable, non-existent. All right, the blood coagulation cascade. This is the first one. This was the first irreducibly complex system that was brought out into the public domain. Like I said, it was somewhere back probably in the early 90s, mid 90s. This one was brought up by B. Now, this gets, I'm going to get a little detailed here, but you don't have to worry about that. If you're interested, you can always go ahead and come back to the video, rewind, and go through it, because I'm going to go through here pretty quick. If you're not working with this system, obviously you're not going to catch it. However, you're going to catch the conclusions. So just humor me, bear with me here. So like I said, this is a very complicated mechanism, and I'm just highlighting a few steps. So basically, fibrinogen, it's inactive in blood. You have prothrombin, that's inactive in blood. Also, bear in mind that plasminogen breaks down the clots after the cascade is complete and the healing has taken place. So when you cut yourself, prothrombin is converted to thrombin, which then converts fibrinogen to fibrin, which then forms networks of polymerized fibrins at the site of insult that clots the blood and stops the bleeding. These factors have to be inactive in your blood until insult, or else you'd get runaway clotting and vapor lock. Make sense? So, we have Russell Doolittle. He's a professor of biochemistry at UC San Diego. He's the member of the National Academy of Sciences, and he's worked on blood clotting for 50 years. And at that point, he was the world's foremost expert on the subject. He published A Delicate Balance in Boston Review, which is published by MIT, and this is what he had to say. He said, recently the gene for plaminogen, remember this one, we're going to be coming back to this, was knocked out of mice. Then the same workers knocked out the gene for fibrinogen in another line of mice. And what do you think happened when these two lines were crossed? For all practical purposes, the mice lacking both genes were normal. Contrary to claims about irreducible complexity, see, he's talking about Behe right here, the entire ensemble of proteins are not needed. Music and harmony can arise from a smaller orchestra. That was beautiful. Dr. Doolittle, of course, is wrong and was referring to a paper that he apparently just skimmed through, as in just looked at the title, and not the whole title, but just loss of fibrinogen rescues mice. This paper is loss of fibrinogen, that's getting hard to say now, rescues mice from the pleiotropic effects of plasminogen deficiency. This is by Thomas Brugge. It's 1996 in the Cell. Well, of course, it's going to rescue them, Professor. If you don't have fibrinogen, the clotting, you don't have clots in the first place for them to have plasminogen clear them. Da! From the author's abstract, mice deficient in plasminogen and fibrinogen are phenotypically indistinguishable from fibrinogen.
Got lunch plans? You do now.
Deficient mice. Listen, this is to say that the new line of mice that are missing both plasminogen and fibrinogen have all the problems of the fibrinogen missing line except thrombosis. Well, because plasminogen breaks the clots down after healing. So the blood doesn't clot. Da. Hemorrhage. Female mice die during pregnancy. See all the other knockout gene studies that all resulted in offspring death. And these are mainly from Sue and Bouget here. So each time one factor was knocked out in each line, the respective offspring mice died. Very important point there. And it's exactly the point of irreducible complexity that Dr. Behe was illustrating. Moreover, and this is quite troubling, Professor Doolittle obviously didn't know, as evidenced by reviewing extremely superficially another study while being the world's foremost expert on the topic. What does that tell you? The explanation, like I said before, is straightforward. The pathological symptoms of only plasminogen deficient mice apparently are caused by uncleared clots. Plasminogen deficient mice cannot form clots in the first place. So problems due to uncleared clots don't arise either in the fibrinogen deficient mice or in mice that lack both plasminogen and fibrinogen. Nonetheless, the severe problems that attend the lack of clotting in fibrinogen deficient mice continue in the double knockouts. Pregnant females still perish. I know that was a little bit long. Like I said, you could go back and go through there after we're done, or at your leisure. So, but we're not done. Watch how this a priori adherence to fairy tales cascades, and a typical clumsy tactic used by many evolutionists, whatever that is, propagates. Note, in Professor Doolittle's response to Dr. Behe in the previous MIT article, remember I highlighted this. It's supposed to be plasminogen, and obviously it's misspelled. You know, it's not a big deal. You know, the professor, he just made a small typo. It's not a big deal. He surely knows how to spell the word correctly. That's not the point. Michael Ruse, the philosopher of biology and world-renowned Darwinian supporter, decides to chime in on this a year later. This is what he has to say. For example, Behe is a real scientist, but this case for the impossibility of a small step natural origin of biological complexity has been trampled upon contemptuously by the scientists working in the field. They think his grasp of pertinent science is weak and his knowledge of literature curiously, although conveniently, outdated. For example, far from the evolution of clotting being a mystery, the past 3 decades work of Russell Doolittle and others has thrown significant light on the ways clotting came into being. One step in the cascade involves fibrinogen, required for clotting, and plaminogen, required for clearing clots away. And then he goes on to quote Dr. Doolittle's exact passage from the MIT article, okay? He friggin' copy and pasted the fine Professor Doolittle's legitimate mistake, the spelling error plaminogen, which should have been plasminogen, along with the erroneous results without due diligence, as usual, and added his color commentary of trampled contemptuously into his mindless spiel. In his opinion of what other unnamed scientists think of Behe, they think his grasp of pertinent sciences, blah, 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 blah. Did Ruse go and ask these other unnamed scientists what they thought or what they think? What a worm. Who else was ready to put the foot in the snare? So this was Dr. Neil Greenspan. He was professor of pathology at Case Western. Check this one. The design advocates also ignore the accumulating examples, I can remember reading this for the first time, of the reducibility of biological systems. As soon as I seen him say this name, I said, oh, goodness gracious, let me run out to the garage and get the Louisville Slugger. I know what he's going to do. So anyway, as Russell Doolittle has noted in commenting on the writings of one ID advocate, and we all know who that is, Dr. Behe, mice genetically altered so that they lack either thrombin or fibrinogen have the expected abnormal hemostatic phenotypes. However, when the separate knockout mice are bred, the double knockouts apparently have normal homeostasis, reducible complexity after all, at least in the laboratory. And here's the reference. So, this is absolutely pitiful. He not only repeats the same exact mistake Professor Doolittle made concerning the mortality of the bred knockouts, the mice died. Thrombin wasn't knocked out in the study, doctor. It was plasminogen and fibrinogen. This is pathetic and reprehensible intellectual laziness at best, and academic fraud at worst. They deferred to Professor Doolittle without the slightest scrutiny or due diligence, then propagated the company line. Moreover, when didn't the editors of the Scientist catch this before publishing? I mean, this was right in the face prima facie stuff. My 10-year-old would have caught that. There's your science. Take a big whiff. Oh, unofficially, Dr. B finally confronted Dr. Doolittle and pointed out his mistake concerning the mortality. Dr. Doolittle replied back in an email privately, oops, but never retracted his statements. Like I said, that's unofficially now. So one of the arguments that purportedly refuted Behe was the clotting cascade in most land-dwelling vertebrates has two pathways. They have the intrinsic and the extrinsic pathway. They both arrive at the fork in the Y with factor 10A, the final common pathway. Since there are two pathways that can reach this point, the system before the fork in the Y is not irreducibly complex. Duh, why? Well, by the simple fact that there are two pathways, there's two roads to get there. So what is irreducibly complex about this system is everything after the fork in the Y, from factor 10A, which converts prothrombin to thrombin. And that is the 4 steps of the final pathway, the actual blood clotting. The argument and arguments that purportedly refuted Behe was that whales and dolphins lack factor 12, the intrinsic pathway, pufferfish lack factors 11, 12, and 12A, the intrinsic pathway, and jawed fish lack the intrinsic pathway altogether, and their blood still clots. Well, so what? They all have the same extrinsic pathway that leads to factor 10A, the entire point. So the argument in total is a straw man and non sequitur from the Black Lagoon. This argument is tantamount to saying that a bike doesn't need both its wheels because unicycles function with one wheel. My word. We can solve that. This is really easy to solve. Take all these knockout factor and knockout factor 10A, or any single of the following: prothrombin, thrombin, fibrinogen, fibrin, or factor 12A, which is activated by thrombin. And let's see what we get. Moreover, let's knock out vitamin K. It's a cofactor, and see what we get. Oh, and this is a good one. Then this is quite profound. Let's then cut the mice and see what happens. Why don't we? Jeez. Tip: logical fallacies are fallacious and define critical thinking skills.
Don't ever let a creationist get fucking educated. That was their first mistake. And by the way, I took a liking to the blood coagulation or clotting cascade when I was at university. The curriculum didn't state to follow that path, but I enjoyed it. I know that sounds crazy to you, but I really enjoyed the feedback loop. I wasn't in the evolution genre. I did nothing. It just intrigued me. So on my own time, I went through the blood clotting cascade hundreds of times. So I knew it like the back of my fucking hand. So you want to play? You want to play? Evolutionist evotards. Come on. That's my kind of party. Fuck sticks. It's not over yet.
So sorry about that. I know that was quite long. I needed to go through it. Even though it had some details in there. Like I said, you can always go back and go through there and check on the things, on the details that I've talked about.
Essentially, what I gather that was a particular type of, you used the term knockout test, where they're knocking out certain elements of the blood clotting process genetically.
Sure.
And they all died. There was never a way for them to actually make it work. So
now it depends on which one you're talking about, because like I said, it depends on what type of animal that you have. Because there's different types of blood clotting cascade systems and in different vertebrae, like I said above. So you have to be careful and specific on which one you're talking about.
All right.
If you do go into this genre, and it's a big, there's a lot of knockout studies. I have a few saved on my hard drive from way back in the day. I started with this many years ago. Yeah. I have a few back there then that are really good knockout studies. Yep.
All right, great.
All right, the flagellum. See, it went from the blood clotting cascade. Like I said, that started in the early 90s to mid 90s, and it went through a couple other systems, but everyone knows this one. The flagellum.
Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the one. As soon as I got put up with back when I was an atheist and I was in these conversations, it shut me up real fast, and I sat there and contemplated it and said, I don't know enough about this, so I'm just going to ignore it.
Sure.
Seriously.
Did people challenge you on this?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in the atheist, creationist arguments back early in when I was an atheist, back like 2008, 2009. Anytime this argument would be put forward concerning the flagellum, and I'd watch videos on it, I was just it was cognitive dissonance. It's like, how could that be? I don't know. You know what I mean?
And boy, I'll tell you what, they were shouting from the rooftops, "Oh, he's out of his mind. Irreducible complexity, that's been debunked." That's all you hear, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if there's anyone out there that wants to debunk this, just go ahead and let Cathexis know, or go ahead and put your comments in the video below. Okay?
Mhm.
I triple dog dare you.
Yeah, I'd love I'd love to see Charlie take on the flagellum.
Okay, let's go with the flagellum.
Let's go over it. Yeah.
Okay, the flagellum, 8 million of these would fit in the cross-sectional area of a human hair. So, the alleged argument, the type 3 secretory system, the T3SS, is similar to the flagellum. Therefore, the flagellum is not irreducibly complex. All right, this is a picture right here. I tried to enlarge it, but it started to get blurry. But that's all right for our purposes. This is the injectosome, or the type 3 secretory system over here. And this is the flagellum. Okay? As you can see, first blush, you can see that there's different parts in these things. Some of them look the same, and some of them are homologous. But you can definitely see some differences here, correct? So let's get a little bit more, just a little bit more detailed, because this is missing some things too. But for our purposes, this will do. So on the left-hand side of each of these diagrams, like I said, this is the flagellum over here. This is the type 3 secretory system, or the injectosome. What this does is inject toxins into hosts. Okay, it's just an injector. It's like a hypodermic needle that bacteria use. Okay, and this over here is the flagellum. So everything, all the parts on the left-hand side over here and on the right-hand side over here are novel, or they're new, or they're specific to each. And the parts here in the middle could be said as homologous. I went in here back in the day. There's a lot more parts in here, and some that seemed homologous weren't, but I'm not going down that road. It's not, it won't do anything for our purposes here anyway. So as you can see, just watch this. From right here, see where my cursor is, down to here and up. This whole section in here, this is the motor. Okay? This is the motor that motors the flagellum. You don't need a motor for a hypodermic needle. This is the motor system right here, right? As you can see over here, guess what? Where's the motor? Yeah, that's what I thought. We'll get to that here in a minute. So the bacterial flagellum and the type 3 secretory system. So a simpler system that has some of the same parts as a more complicated system, the flagellum, doesn't suggest that the more complex system isn't irreducibly complex. If a system minus one part can perform the same function, that would be evidence. But if you see another system that looks similar to the more complex, but has 10 missing, it could be 2 missing parts, and performs a different function, then at best, it shows that some things are just made using a similar pattern in materials, and says absolutely nothing concerning the irreducible complexity of the original, more complex system. A Cessna has many things in common with a Boeing 767, but the design differences require an intelligent agent to bring them about. The type 3 secretory system is missing the entire motor assembly, for goodness sakes. Only about 10 of the 40 components can possibly be explained by co-option, or like I say, they're homologous. But the other 30 in the flagellum are completely novel. Now, let's get back to the definition. This is very important. I hope everyone gets this. It should get them like a freight train. Let's not forget the definition of irreducible complexity. So, irreducible complexity, a single system composed of several well-matched interacting parts that contribute to the basic function, wherein the removal of any of these parts cause the system to effectively cease functioning. You see this right here? What's this say? A single system. Is the type 3 secretory system and the flagellum a single system? Or are they two separate systems, peradventure? Is the comparison of the type 3 secretory system to the flagellum a valid, irreducibly complex argument? Or is it painfully incoherent red herring fallacy? I just wasted my time going through all this stuff. It's this. It has nothing whatsoever to do with the argument.
Yeah, but I'm sure you hear it quite often. hence the reason to put it in there. It seems to be their go-to answer.
I can't make this any more clear. Is this two systems or one system?
Yeah.
Are these two completely different systems or one system?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Moreover, even in their fairy tale view, they must be attempting to postulate that the need to inject toxins into hosts came about, all magical, mytho-mathematical, before the need and ability to swim? Come on! Their own scientists, and I got that little quotations right there, say the opposite. It seems plausible that the original type 3 secretion system for virulence factors evolved, whatever that is, those of the flagellar assembly. It would have been better said devolved from, since you're missing the entire motor assembly. The next study, we suggested the flagellar apparatus was the evolutionary, whatever that is, precursor of the type 3 protein secretion system. So what they're saying is the type 3 has devolved. You know, it's saying flagellum, then the type 3 secretory system, not the other way around. This is even bullocks right here. All this is bullocks. Oh, I forgot about this. All right. From the National Science Foundation, folks, take a look at this. This is the flagellum, right? Look at what this thing has a clutch. There's a clutch in there, folks. Now, I didn't put this in there. I didn't make this up. This is from the National Science Foundation. What it looks like here is, with the clutch, I got my glasses off now, is the gear in here. See, these are proteins right here, these shapes right in here. And what it seems like is these go under conformational change when another protein makes its conformational change. It induces a conformational change here and disengages the clutch. And this is from a biofilm, Bacillus subtilis biofilm, right? It disengages the clutch. That means it's not going to move, right? So I didn't put this in there. Even the study from Blair, a molecular clutch, they call it a clutch, disables the flagellum in the biofilm. This is from American Association of the Advancement of Science. This is good. It's good paper, by the way. So, nature, unguided processes, engineers and manufacturers clutches? Really? So, if I throw a hunk of iron ore underneath the tranny on my Jeep, how long do I have to wait before I can be on my way? Or does it have to be touching the engine block? Or how about the windshield wipers? Or how about if I turn the radio on? This is preposterous, folks.
Friggin' bozos. My word.
Oh, go. Here we go. All right, just a couple more minutes and we'll be done with this. Okay, my favorite trial, the Dover trial, what I actually refer to the kangaroo court. So my first question: since when are matters of science adjudicated by non-scientists? I mean, give me a break. I'm sure Judge Jones was able to call on his vast experience and expertise from the chair of the PA State Liquor Control Board. I mean, who's next, folks? MAD, Boy Scouts of America, PETA, Teamsters, your choice. We'll just throw this subject up to them, see what they think, and roll with that. So let's have a closer look. Let me show you what a fiasco this was. So, you're going to like this. At the end of the trial, a document is filed with the judge from both parties before a judgment is handed down. So both sides filed with the judge a document is called a finding of fact and conclusions of law document. Hey, check his name out. Eric Rothschild, the lead attorney for the plaintiffs. Guess who that was? The ACLU. These are the document remarks. I'm going to put Eric Rothschild's remarks, or the ACLU, I should say, and Judge Jones' ruling, okay, for each of these. So let's take a look at some of these statements. This is from the ACLU document. The assertion that design of biological systems can be inferred from the purposeful arrangement of parts is based on an analogy to human design. This is Judge Jones' ruling. Indeed, the assertion that design of biological systems can be inferred from the purposeful arrangement of parts is based upon an analogy to human design. See what he did here? So, Judge Jones adds indeed to the first part of the sentence. At the beginning of the sentence, he adds up to on to make upon from right here to right here. Otherwise, it's the exact same sentence. Nice little sleight of hand there, isn't it? Moreover, Judge Judy, does it strike you as strange or non sequitur when evaluating design that we would look at things that are designed so as to make a cogent comparison to design? I know that sounds outlandish. So let's take a look. What does design mean? From Merriam-Webster. Look at all the watchwords. Create, fashion, execute, construct according to a plan. It's contrived. It's in the mind. It has purpose, intent. It has a specific function. Can inanimate objects design things? Or are inanimate objects the medium used to design? Again, Eric Rothschild's remarks in his findings of law document. So, according to Professor Behe, because we are able to recognize design of artifacts and objects, that same reasoning can be employed to determine biological design. Judge Jones' ruling. Because we are able to recognize design of the artifacts and objects, according to Professor Behe, that same reasoning can be employed to determine biological design. I mean, so Judge Jones decides to move, according to Professor Behe, this one right here. He decides to take this one and move it over here. A little further away from the beginning of the sentence. Save for that phrase shift, it's the exact same sentence in total. And Judge Judy, it's especially when you say biological design. Does design mean designed or non-design design? Which I'd like him to, elucidate that fact. So last one. So again, Eric Rothschild. Professor Behe testified that the strength of an analogy depends on the degree of similarity entailed in the two propositions. If this is the test, intelligent design completely fails. Judge Jones' ruling. Professor Behe testified that the strength of the analogy depends upon the degree of similarity entailed in the two propositions. However, if this is the test, ID completely fails. So can you pick them out? It's becoming pretty easy now. So he adds a semicolon and however. That was really tricky. He almost threw me with that one. He added, there's his favorite one, another up to upon, or up to on to make a pawn. Then he replaced intelligent design with ID. It's the same sentence. If you wish, I could post the entirety of this cut and paste fiasco kangaroo court, which besides the juvenile word and punctuation games, is Eric Rothschild's complete ACLU document, cut and pasted for Judge Jones to render. The whole thing is. Boston University law professor Jay Wexler, who opposes ID, concurred that after the trial was over, part of Kitzmiller that finds ID not to be science is unnecessary, unconvincing, not particularly suited to the judicial role, and even perhaps dangerous to both science and freedom of religion.
Wow.
So I didn't want to concentrate on that. I agree with him. I wanted to concentrate on this. I like when they put this stuff in there. So this is a little sidebar. See the fallacious juxtaposition? You put it real subtle like, right? You put the juxtaposition in there. Science and freedom of religion. False dichotomy. I suppose because people just declare it, especially when it's done all subtle like, it then must be true, right? Gotta be. Here's the real juxtaposition, people. This is the real one. God versus pseudoscience. If you don't think this is the case, head back to episode 2 materialism presentation, or just tune in next week.
How you like me now? Booger eating Bubba? Thanks, by the way, for stepping into the blast furnace. You unbelievable idiot. Saved by the word, thanks for the super chat. Cash for the cowbell. Yeah, there's some cowbell in there. And Theo Megaworthy, you don't stop with this, do you? But you added the clotting cascade. That's pretty good. How many curved linear radii in the clotting cascade? Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Damn, we still have some people left. Let's see where we're at. 37 to 8:30. So it's only like, I don't know, 3.5, 4 hours. It hasn't been all that bad. Oh, boy. Again, thank you for stepping from the fire into the blast furnace. I love that. Evo Tards, this is just the first episode. Oh, my God. You want to take that Pepsi challenge? Go ahead. I'm right here. It's going to end pretty friggin' badly. You better stay in your little cocoons on your own channels. I'll tell you that much. You fucking clowns. I'm your Huckleberry. But that. All right, guys. Like I said, we've been going for a pretty good time here. This is the first episode in the marathon. There will be many episodes after this one with these two clowns. Well, the third clown, but we already know what happened to him. So what else you got? Anything else up for discussion? Yeah, into the break. Yep, they'll never recover. Yeah, they can't. They can't recover from the first 15 minutes. This is just icing on the cake. Like I said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was educational. I figured I'd just run this whole presentation because she just stepped right into it, right? The Dover trial, the irreducible complexity, blood coagulation or clotting cascade, and the flagella. She just stepped right into it. I couldn't have scripted that any better. Yep, I didn't feel to do it all over again since I already did it. And if they want to take the Pepsi challenge, let's go. I'm ready to go. They ain't never seen a creationist like me. I'll guarantee you that. Kent Hope, she debated Kent Hope. Yeah, I'll take a debate with her absolutely free. With the brain sick, booger eating Bubba, no problem. Or that other, well, the other crayon muncher, the one with the nested hierarchy with the spider eggs. I don't think so. Yeah, you're welcome, Richard D. He said, thanks, QE. That was some really interesting stuff. Yeah, it's a bit complicated. I had to do it. with the blood clotting cascade, and it's just a little piece of it. I had to do it just for the record, right? That's the only mission, just to have it down on record and leave it right where it was. Because I know it's a bit confusing. If you've never been involved in that and never studied it, it's oh boy, right? It could be overwhelming, right? Because you have to keep track of so many things. But like I said, I did it on my own hundreds of times on my own time because I enjoyed it. I know that sounds crazy to you. When everyone else was out there partying, you know, in college, I was a non-traditional student. I already sowed those seeds back in the day. I just went out there and started going off on my own, right? So I'm a little different animal. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a lot out of it. I don't think there'll be another one next week or the week after. I'm preparing for Total Archery Challenge. I've got too many logs on the fire. Not to say that I won't do it. It just doesn't look like I'll do it at this point. So I'm not making any promises either way. The safe way is to say that I'll probably continue this after I get back. So after April 3rd. Maybe not even after then, man, because I got a couple other things right after that. But maybe the second week of April. That's what it's looking like right now. So, again, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this was educational because I can use their numpty canvas to paint my Rembrandt. Take that, Evo-tards, you atheist idiots. Fucking clowns think they got a seat at the table and shit. All right, guys, hang in there. And remember, I'll be back.